Welcome to Paradelphia Radio. This is Doug Hoagie Jr. coming to you from Toxic Radio. And I'm just going to start things off right now, as a lot of you following. This is probably going to be a very emotional episode. We are, first of all, we have the whole Paradelphia crew here, including Rick's wife, Taryn, sitting right in Rick's seat. If you're watching us online there on the Facebook Paradelphia Toxic Radio page here. But then we have Melly. She is in studio. Hello. And we have Jennabee and Jean just coming on in.
Yeah, she's coming right on cue.
But yeah. So she's always got to make the special entrance.
She's on cue. What do you want?
So we're all here in studio, but unfortunately, again, we're not here tonight. We're not doing our normal paranormal. This is our first episode coming back. It's still hard to say, but unfortunately, we lost Rick on Christmas Day. However, I definitely have made a promise, as well as all of us, that the show will go on. We are now on, first of all, episode 310. I mean, this is episode 310 episodes. I mean, you're talking, Rick started, I remember I always used to joke with him all the time, saying how, he started this, and Taryn, I know you remember this, he started with a laptop and a microphone in the bedroom, and I always tried to convince him, let's go back to your bedroom. But instead, he just picked Mike's bedroom. But I mean,
change of scenery.
So, again, I mean, Rick, he's responsible, obviously, for all of us here together for Paradelphia. I mean, and that's just, one thing. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, even with Toxic Radio, I know Mike will, I'm sure Mike will come on shortly and say, like, he made his impact in the world. And it's no doubt, it's saying it lightly that it's hard. But again, it's going to be an emotional night. And anybody that's listening, again, whether you're on the app, if you chat with us, or you're on Facebook, if you have something you want to say, you want to share, please chime in, and we will do our best to kind of relay what you say. Also, just quick thing. So tonight we also have a couple people calling in. So we have Kelly Roncace. Kelly, who it's been a while since she's been on the show, but Kelly's on frequently, author and everything. In fact, Kelly was the actual she was the reason, in a sense, Rick reached out to her originally. Yep. When I first met Rick.
She's to blame for you being here. No, I'm just kidding.
Wait a minute.
That shit rolls downhill.
Technically,
just saying.
Technically, other than Taryn, I think I'm the main antenna here that brought it. No.
I know.
I know. I'm just kidding.
You bring people together.
I know. But no, Kelly, the original thing was, I remember Rick reached out to Kelly on episode 3 to interview her about Paranormal Corner. She was like, well, let me give you this guy Doug's name and number.
And then he talked for 15 minutes and didn't shut up while it wasn't recorded.
It was the first question. Yeah. Let me start off with that.
I figured I'd open the door for you.
Listen, this is how, Karen... Well, hold on. We'll get into that. Let me update this real quick. So, Kelly's calling in a little bit. Mario Cerrito is going to be calling in also. We're doing a special 2-hour episode tonight. Usually, we do the 8 to 9, but we're going to... Because of the circumstance, we're going to go till 10 o'clock. And also Mario, which we'll talk more when he comes in, but he's going to be actually joining us on the crew more frequently.
And let's not forget why this episode is so special, other than it being a memorial.
I swear I was just getting ready to say that.
I was just making sure.
Also, we were originally supposed to do this episode on, the 6th, right?
Yeah.
It was a Thursday, right. And I think no one got COVID. I got COVID, vaccinated and COVID.
I was under quarantine.
You were finishing, and everybody, if they didn't get COVID, they got very sick. So we postponed it, obviously. But Taryn actually made a suggestion. Let's wait until today, because tomorrow is actually Rick's birthday.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to officially name tomorrow Rick Prewitt Day.
Love it.
That's what it's
going to be. It's in January.
Give Taryn the key to the city.
I was going to say the key to Toxic, but the city's good. Yeah, so we're going to take the key to Toxic.
No.
So,
not sure what I'm going to do here, but okay.
Well, really fast, can I just stop for 1 second?
No.
So I, no. So I was here on Sunday doing my podcast, and I had talked to Mike about doing this, and I didn't tell anybody. Well, I told Jean earlier. I brought something for the studio so that Rick will always be here. So I thought it'd be good to have it for the whole show. So hold on.
Oh, now I'm excited.
Actually, yeah, that's
I am really
perfect.
excited to see this.
I saw you carry, but I thought it was pizza.
Oh my God! That is beautiful. I don't know if anybody.
So this is a canvas.
So real quick, anybody, again, if you're listening on the website or anything, if you go to the Paradelphia Facebook page or the Toxic Radio Facebook page, you can actually see us live in studio, and you can take a look at this. But go ahead, Jenna, I'm sorry.
That's amazing.
So this is probably, I mean, not that I had many pictures of Rick.
That's
just
so
chilling.
amazing.
I found this, and when I was finding pictures, like
perfect.
to write a little like memoriam the day he passed away.
That's perfect.
So
and that's him. That's
I didn't want to bring it out
perfect.
to make anybody upset, but I feel like
we
should have a face
Absolutely.
out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't. Does anyone know if this was Rick liked this picture? He probably
I don't know, but it's such a great picture.
I honestly, I've never heard Rick ever say anything about that's a bad picture of him. Because all the times that I would be snapping different photos of him, and he'd just be like,
that is such a great picture.
That's definitely him, definitely, absolutely.
Yeah. So
perfect.
I was a little short on funds. I'm gonna get you the same exact one, but on a smaller scale. So I mean, unless you want a poster size, but it's a canvas.
We're giving cardboard cutouts. We're doing the whole wallpaper your entire house.
Well,
so Mike said that we could have this wherever.
That is
in
so
the
great.
studio.
That is beautiful.
So Rick, he gonna be at every show.
Yeah,
buddy. That's and that's one of the things too. Like I said, that's why
I'm already looking.
I want everybody to know too. Like when I say me, like I continue the show. Obviously, I mean all of us as the crew. I mean, but
so
I know,
amazing.
like I definitely, there is no way possible that I could never not continue Paradelphia. This is this is something. I mean, we all know how much Rick loved the show, and again, I know Taryn knows more than anybody how much was he on his phone or looking different things up or on the trying to get stuff going. So I mean, there's that is absolutely. I thought you were bringing in a pizza.
That is so great.
Cake.
What's that?
Cake.
She thought cake.
Yeah.
I was gonna bring a cake. This could have been a cake, and we could have just sliced it. But
so great.
And what we'll do is we'll take a picture of that and we'll post it on the Paradelphia Facebook page too if you're not. But that's perfect. So,
that is so perfect.
But yeah. So again, tonight we're just kind of we're gonna be just talking about Rick, and we're gonna be just kind of tributing to Rick more, just like a memorial episode. So so going back real quick, you're trying to figure out
there's
what's
a
up.
nail up there.
I'm trying to put it somewhere so
We're trying to put Rick's picture up in studio.
By the time this is done, there's going to be a rip in it.
It's
have to get another one. Yeah.
There we go.
There we go.
That's
It's
temporary.
Right there you go.
But that way, I mean, can you see it?
Well, no, it's perfect because Jenna, it's right behind you, and you can see it on the
I'm
camera.
gonna pass gas like I usually did when Rick was around.
Oh my God!
I would always...
that escalated real quick.
Okay.
Maybe put it over there. I don't know.
Right,
I just want it somewhere where we can see
I'm
it.
telling you all. There's
right now.
Anyway. But no, so, like I said, where you had it was good because you could be on camera. So, but yeah, no, that's perfect. So, all right, so real quick, so going back real fast, I mean, obviously, one thing with Rick, as I was saying, Kelly, he wanted to interview her about her paranormal corner, and he, of course, she gave him my information, and I even joked with him about this all the time, too. Why he would let me become his co-host when the very first time I ever spoke to him, he asked me a question, the first question. It lasted 15 minutes, me answering him. And then he forgot to press record for the show. So instead of saying, well, this asshole doesn't shut up, so I'm just going to let him think that and then I go, nope, he started right back over, and I think the same answer lasted 17 minutes that time. But no, I mean, I remember I met Rick. It was, I was his guest on episode 3. Mm-hmm. And then I appeared every so often on the show. In fact, I think it was the weekend that, where'd
that just come from? Why do I have this? Oh, okay, never mind. It's a bottle opener. Sorry.
Oh.
Is that what it is?
There's
It's a
a
very
This-
interesting bottle.
It is. Is he grabbing
This
his
ended
penis?
up next to me. and scared
That's what
the
I
shit
thought.
out of me.
Mike just randomly put a person in here,
Yeah,
but okay.
it looked like it was thrown my
But-
way, but okay.
Anyway, so
But he
so
is grabbing his own penis.
it does look like
No,
that.
he's not grabbing his penis.
Oh.
He's like gigging to the side or some shit.
That's okay.
Well, yeah, but maybe that's his penis. Maybe it's just
I
that
mean,
big.
it could be long. I feel bad for you tonight.
I'm telling you, like we've talked about penises and everything already, and
Well,
we're
it
20
wouldn't be a
minutes in.
show with me on it.
That is true.
Exactly.
Talk about
I mean, I really
dicks.
can't say anything with that.
Dicks.
But
Dicks.
yeah. So, but no, I was
you
going to
have-
ask, was it that weekend that I interviewed with Rick that I invited him to that Gloucester County jail investigation?
Our first investigation.
Because I remember we had like a 2-night investigation at Gloucester County Jail, and I invited him, and yeah, he like spent the 2 nights doing that. And like I said, I remember it was episode 34. He asked me to be his permanent co-host, and
Here
here we are.
You were standing
and-
in my kitchen. You came over to my house to give me the results of the investigation you had done in my house.
Right.
When he called you.
And then, like I said, at all kind of whirlwind together with
you
all
know-
of us.
I don't remember shit, but your grandmother had showed up, so you were in the middle
That-
of talking to me. Your grandmother
And you
showed
know,
up.
it's-
I was doing a reading,
It's
and
funny,
he
yeah.
called you.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of giving Jean
How ironic.
I'm giving Jean her information. She doesn't know me, didn't know me from Adam. And I'll never forget, she says, you have a grandmother on the other side, and she wanted me to tell you that your daughters are a gift from her. And she didn't, like I said, she didn't know me from Adam, but yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot happened that day at
Yeah.
your house, I'm telling you.
Yeah, there was a lot going on.
And it all like snowballed
As
because,
usual.
you know, it was
Jean's life, if not.
it was Rick and Mike for the longest time, and I know that Rick had brought myself and Nick Abrams in because, you know, Mike, he had a lot to do with this show and everything.
As we talk, I
he's
just want to mention the
passing out
bartender.
shots, so.
He filled mine up to the rim.
We have a
This is why
bartender, a
Mike's my
personal
favorite.
bartender. This
There
is
you
fantastic.
go.
We ain't tipping you.
God, I was going to say is
Give you a couple pennies.
Tequila.
I can't take a shot as small as my stomach is. I'll be hammered half of that.
Jenna's just a small now.
Anyway,
Probably stretched out
but,
mine.
Isn't that tequila? That's tequila.
What was
There you go.
Taryn? What
But
was
see,
Rick's
this is-
favorite?
yeah, well, this is
alcohol.
only right, too.
Just out of
Captain
I
curiosity.
don't drink, by the way.
Oh.
He was a rum guy.
I
he
would
was a
not
cap-
have
Yeah.
guessed that.
Yeah, he was a rum guy.
Because
Okay.
like Mike said before the show, there's
Thank
a
you,
lot
sir.
of times that a lot of times him and Rick had taken shots and
You
drank.
have to. Literally, it's going around the house.
I don't
He's-
have a
he's
chaser.
mostly a
Look,
beer
I am
guy,
what you
but
call
if he was drinking
Chase on
liquor.
plus.
I'm what
Chase
you
on.
call a bitch drinker. But
Chase
if
on
we're taking
plus.
a shot on air for Rick, I will
Yeah,
take one.
That's what this is about.
Fine.
There's
All
your
right.
chaser.
But oh my God, I'm letting y'all know. If y'all remember, when I first started the show, I was 360 pounds. I had surgery.
What
likes
what
the
is your
tequila.
Oh,
poison?
for God's sakes.
Melly wants the tequila.
I got
Do the
mine.
Jim Beam.
Oh, you got yours?
Just all right, give me that one. I guess it's gonna hurt anyway.
He's going to whine for about another 15, 20 minutes.
Oh no, I'll probably start worrying that I'm going to be drunk forever. All right. So then, does everyone
Mike
have
has
one?
to get
Whoa,
his.
whoa.
Hold on.
All right, yeah, you guys
Wait for
get
Mike.
yours. All right. In the meantime, like
You're
I
not
said,
used to this, are you?
tonight we're going to wing it. That's why I said, you know, this is a show for Rick. Everything we do is for Rick here. So
Yeah.
I didn't think that we were. Oh, that smells good. Actually,
This is the face Rick's making right now.
He's not.
Yeah. Yes.
That is
Is perfect. He is.
Only for the
Yes, he
shots.
would.
He's probably.
So
Yes.
absolutely.
I love that.
He's probably
God, I love
like,
that.
"What are you doing?"
And again,
Stop it.
for
Stop.
for
Oh,
everybody,
you too?
for everybody that
Me
can't
too.
see, the picture is a thumbs up of him. It's on Facebook, but he's giving a thumbs up and a smile.
It's so great.
It's such
That
a
is-
good picture.
I love that
It
picture.
really is. All right, does everybody have a shot? You got one?
Yes.
All right, everybody.
For Rick Prewitt.
To Rick Prewitt,
Yes.
our man.
Cheers.
Shalom, Paradelphia. Ah! All right, I'm hammered.
That was beautiful.
All right. And anybody at home that's
Oh,
drinking.
that was good.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was. I haven't had a shot.
Sorry, I take my chaser. And anybody else that was home that just so
Look,
happens
can
to
we
be
talk
drinking,
about the
that
two
was a drink on
Hogates
it.
are like, oh God, oh God.
We've both had weight loss surgery.
Well,
So
yeah, that
this
makes
is
a
going
difference.
to be the equivalent of me downing that just now.
Mike's literally had mine overflowing.
So, All right. Well, that was actually good. I thought that was perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so this is what I'd like to do. Actually, I would like to, go around the table here
Open the mic up finally.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've been trying to explain something the last 5 minutes, but now I'm half drunk.
Now you know
already.
how
No,
Rick
I'm just
felt.
kidding. But yeah, so I want to open up to you guys. So I know there's a lot of memories, obviously, of Rick, but I mean, you guys
off
want
with
to
Gene.
share something? Yeah, you want to kick off
Go
Gene,
ahead.
something that sticks in your mind about Rick.
Oh, mine's
One
What
of
I'll
many.
miss the most?
Yeah, there you go. Anything,
memory.
whatever you have.
I don't have any memory.
I don't have any memory.
Yeah, that's true. Everything just coming to you now. So
The random text that I would get, day, night, whatever, you get a text, you look down, hey, do you know if ghosts can sexually assault somebody?
Jesus.
get out.
I'll have to look that one up.
Has he ever woken up excited in the middle of the night, being like, "Hey, baby ghost," or something?
That wasn't Taryn.
Taryn, call me
Say what he
ghost.
has.
Why do you ask?
Yeah,
Or,
because-
hey, when liquefying a body does it, I don't know. I'll get back. They were just the craziest questions.
Random.
And then I would say, why do you ask?
But you're Gene. You're supposed to know. Psychic medium Gene.
I don't know everything.
At least you
I'm
don't
not
lie.
sure those things were
They don't
her
lie.
area,
But
though.
at least she doesn't lie. There are some out there that will make it up and be like, well, technically. Now, okay.
Yeah, no. But yeah, I'd get these crazy random things. And I guess November, we had been texting back and forth. He texted me with a question, and I answered him kind of half-assed, and he was like, "What?" I said, "I'm sorry. Somebody had texted me about this crazy stuff that I didn't know anything about, with white hats and black hats and dark forces fighting each other and time."
And this is him texting you about, like, he's asking you.
No, somebody else had texted
Oh,
me.
someone. Okay,
So
gotcha.
I'm in the middle of trying to figure this out because it scared me to death.
Right.
And he's like, what? I said, oh, okay. So I asked him, have you ever heard of this?
Right.
You know, the white hats and the black hats at the time, they're changing time to the black hats are changing time to do evil in the world, but the white hats are slowing it down. And
Wow, it sounds like Mario's next movie.
I know, right?
that's what I thought. I mean, I was like, what the hell? So I'm sorry, this is what happened. But he's like, oh, yeah, that's what you know about this? He's like, yeah. So we're texting back and forth. I'm like, what the hell?
Wow.
I've never heard of this before. And there's a book. And he was telling me about the book he read, and it gets deeper than that. I'm like,
Right.
yeah, no, I'm out now. That's very freaky, scary, and that's too much for me. I'm just going to stay with the
Now, I was going to ask,
And
Donna,
that's-
what's your input on what she's talking about?
no,
Do you
that
know?
right there, I've never heard anything about that. But that was like one of the things about, especially when we would be doing the show. We would especially doing the news shows. I mean, I like to think him and I were kind of, in a sense, I don't want to say equal, because where he was at like 150,000, I would say I'm maybe at 100,000. He knew a lot more, all the reading. But like, even when we would get into conversations about stuff, he just always knew, because all the reading he did. I
very
mean,
smart.
when it came to anything, like he that's not putting it lightly of how intelligent he was with stuff. So, and the fact that let's text Rick about the white hats and the black hats and clock
I could
timing or
actually-
whatever.
Yeah,
Wow.
apparently they are forces on the other side that are battling for, like good and evil. And there's this whole big battle going on, and people know about it.
Wait,
and
I could see why he asked you about that, though.
he didn't. Somebody
Oh,
else
yeah,
did.
that's
Someone
right,
else,
that's right, okay.
right? And
And
she
I
asked him.
answered him with some half-assed answer that didn't even, because I was
He's
so
probably
freaked out.
Gene, what the fuck are you talking about?
Exactly. So then I said, oh, sorry, blah, 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 blah. And he was like, oh, yeah, that. And we were going back and forth. I'm like, you heard about this? And there's a book, and I'm like, oh, shit. I'm not going there. It was it's like scared the crap out of me. Yeah.
She's like, I'm not doing psychic medium stuff anymore. And I didn't know that.
I'm
Thank
just
you,
staying with I'm staying with the light. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, but he knew all about it.
That's
Wow.
very
Well,
interesting.
you'd always get these crazy
Right.
text messages, and I'd be like, why do you ask?
Well, it's
I
it's
mean-
funny because you say, he would text you stuff. I'll never forget. It actually wasn't that long ago. I'm an idiot, and I was actually telling Melly this one time. I remember we were watching a football game, and I knew he was watching it because obviously he was a sports guy.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought this. Like, I was watching it, and like when you're watching football, when whoever has the ball, they put the little ball symbol in front of their score. Well, I looked at it one day and I'm like, why is the score -3? I sent him a text and I said, are you watching this game? Why is it -3? He sent me a text. He goes, what the hell are you talking about?
He probably thought he was drunk.
And I realized it at that point, and I was like, I promise you I'm not on anything anymore, and I'm not just drinking. I just realized it. Yeah, like, but that was it. He just, like, was like, LOL. Like, he just played it off, laughed it off.
I can't
whatever.
front, though. I thought the same thing when they first started.
Right.
That.
It was the dumbest thing. I even played football growing up, and I'm like,
but when
why
do they
would it
put
be
a
-3?
minus sign in front of the score?
Yeah,
Come on.
but it was just a football. So that was my idiotic moment too. Yeah. So, but how about you, Jenna? What's something that sticks out?
So where do I start? No,
I know. It's so hard.
So I just said, I think it was right after I wrapped up my show here on Sunday, I had posted a picture, or no, I went somewhere and I posted the fit pick of the day. And as soon as I posted it, in my head, I thought of what Rick would be commenting, what the WTF, or probably saying the
His
F word.
Comments and
what is a
right?
fit? And then I would explain it, and he'd say, why don't you just say outfit? And in my head, I'm having this conversation, and I'm like, this is actually Rick probably in my head right now. But
geez, Jenna.
yeah, I mean, everyone knows that. I mean, I started Paradelphia in late 2014 because it was right after I got married. And I started just as
the producer.
I think I just came with
But
you one day.
Well, I remember we were trying to find like a producer to kind of get it off of his back a little bit. But you maybe did it one time, and he was still working hard with it. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, I did get. Remember in the early stages, I was getting a lot of like really big, like weird guests.
Well, you got the one girl that drank blood.
She was on TLC.
Right.
We had another person that died and went to hell, and he was an atheist. Like,
I remember that one. Yeah.
But either way, I think that my dynamic of the show was never like I was to bring the. Not that I'm a comedian. I mean, clearly I am, but I think more to bring like the comedy aspect and like to break it up of.
But either that or keep Rick guessing.
Yeah. To bring
when I was on with you, then it was comedy.
Oh yeah, when me and Mike would have.
yeah.
And then Rick would have to be referee.
Be the religious referee.
Yeah, and I would always obviously beat Mike.
Don't
in
start
those,
that.
Battles. But
there is no religion tonight.
I remember I was secretly Paradelphia's Kanye West.
Oh my God!
Forget that.
I forgot
for a good
about
year,
that.
And I did it even when I was in studio. I did
you
it
know
so
about
secretively.
That,
do you remember Rick talking about it?
Terrence, like,
oh my God!
It was I don't
know.
It was good.
Mike
it was
could
good.
probably like explain a little better. It had to have been,
because it was in the chat room.
Yeah, it was in the chat room.
And you even had a Twitter. And you even made a
that
Twitter.
Twitter is still active. I mean, obviously we don't post on it anymore. But no one knew who it was because I did it so secretly. And Rick, every time Kanye would like be in the chat, he's like, "Who the F is this? Is this Kanye?"
We were all trying to figure it out.
And
so
like,
much.
Did you guys ever say, is it Jenna?
I came
later
out
on.
and said it when we did our final Toxic Radio episode before we went to the other studio.
Wildfire.
I didn't know if I was allowed to say
Well,
their
we
name.
still work with them.
with
They're
them.
right next door.
They're here.
They're right next door. They're right next door.
Wildfire's right next door.
I didn't know if we were like.
Yeah, they're here with us now.
I'll have to
We
show you.
can't say that name. Yeah, right. Anyway.
When we were with Wildfire,
Yeah.
the last time we did our show in at Mike's house, I
bedroom.
called and I couldn't be there. I don't remember. I called
You've all been in my bedroom.
and I said I'm going to announce something today. I am Kanye.
I do remember
I'm saying,
that.
did any of you question
We couldn't figure it
her
out.
prior to? Were you guys
No.
No,
Because
I was always
freaking
like
clue.
here. I think a couple times I had Steven log on.
Yeah,
Or
because
no,
there
at
would
that
be
time,
times, you would be in, and it would be this because like she would either be in studio, and we couldn't
So
figure
you
out
didn't
where the
see her
hell.
picking up her phone? 'Cause
No.
Steve
Well,
was
I mean,
doing it.
yeah, but even if you
That's
picked your
brilliant.
phone up, we were all on our phone.
And at the
during
time,
show,
you on the old chat room, you could just make your name. Like I could
Right.
have been Melly.
Oh yeah,
Like and acted like I was you, but I was Kanye. But anyway, going back to Rick,
Catfishing on Paradelphia.
I 100% like, I didn't know that I had a love for podcasting until I joined Paradelphia. And now, I have my own podcast. I mean, obviously I'm still active with Paradelphia, but not as active as I was.
It's
but
called
also
Hot Tea, but none of you guys drink tea during it.
We had wine.
Yeah, it's spiked tea.
It's
So
spiked tea.
So I was going to say, why not wine? with
And you
Jenna?
can
Anyway.
heat up wine, actually.
Or whining
Yeah.
with Jenna.
Yeah, one or the other. But I really 100% owe my finding my love for podcasting to Rick. Because honestly, like I fell in love with it. I love doing radio, and it's just I don't think I'm trying not to get emotional, but like I don't think it's hit me.
Right.
Because I think that there was so many shows that I came when he was really in his like fight for cancer, and I just feel like the next time that we do a show, he'll be here, and I don't think that it's hit me yet that he's gone.
No.
But part of me likes it like that. I mean, I can't see
I feel that.
I couldn't imagine being in Taryn's shoes, going home to an empty house every day.
Yeah, that's,
For me, it just comes down to a radio show. But he was also a good friend of mine, you know.
Right.
It just sucks because, like I said, I'm kind of thankful that my brain doesn't register, but
Right.
Well,
I get what you're saying because
I have a tissue.
Right, well, it's
No tissues for you.
again. I mean, it's I know exactly how I feel because
Yeah.
I was even telling Melly. I mean, no matter what, going on with the show, Rick is still host. I will always refer to myself as co-host because it's only right.
Yeah.
And I was even telling Melly, it's different now. In a sense, because it would always be, I mean, I would throw an idea at him and we would do the show topic, but it was always like, hey man, oh, Laura is on the chat. Baby is kicking to your voice, Jenna. So, I would say that. But no, the fact that here I am, before it was like, hey man, is the show tonight? What are we doing? And all that. To now, it's like, okay, like I got a list of show ideas, different things, because that's the one thing that I'm really dedicated to doing. Like, this will go on. As long as I, am living, I will make sure this show goes on. And that's the one thing about it, because much like me, I mean, I came in, I was here, I was doing paranormal investigating. I came part of it because he got an interest in the team. He was interested in what I did, and it just dawned on him one day to being like, hey, you want to come in full time, even though as much as I talked, and I mean it's funny because at the time you don't think of how much you do and have done with someone until I went back and looked of all the different places we had went and the events. I mean. Sitting there thinking, I almost forgot about the time we went up to like Bruce Tango's movie premiere,
Or
guys,
Gettysburg.
or Gettysburg.
I actually have something really
I'll
cool
never
about that.
forget when
I'm
we
thankful
went
for
to
it.
Bruce Tango's movie premiere, and the guys from this show that was on, I think it was Spike at the time or Paramount, whatever. It was a Comic Book Men show. They were all there wanting to take our picture. And Rick and I are waiting because we wanted to get a picture behind this drop thing. So Rick just hands it to this dude, like everybody's making a fuss. Rick had no idea who he was. He's like, can you take our picture? And these guys are like, okay.
That's
this little
great.
short guy, and he's like, yeah, and took our picture. But it's just
guy.
you don't realize how much I've done, how many different things we've done.
Yeah.
I mean. Until
It's funny.
Kinda
I'm
to the
sorry. This is the last thing I'm going to say. Out of nowhere, hold on. I know I still have it. I had a really random group chat with you, with Gene, and Rick, and out of nowhere, on October 24th, he says thank you. I said 4. Oh yeah, that's right. He never answered me.
He was like, wrong person.
He's probably like, damn, wrong person.
A year later, I'm like,
what? I mean, and we obviously, I think we were due, I don't know. I don't even remember. But I still to this, I want to know, do you know why he was thanking me?
You're probably the wrong person.
I don't know. He's like, oh, shit.
funny because I had been messaging back and forth with Mario when Rick passed, and I said to him, I just can't imagine him doing anything else but barging through heaven, like, excuse me, have to get through, excuse me, have to let them know I'm okay,
Right.
and I had spoken to Doug, and Doug's like, I I feel like I can hear him. I'm like, well, that happens.
It was only the couple of days after I would randomly hear. I'll tell you the first thing I heard, and it's so random and weird. I'm driving, and I wasn't even thinking about anything or thinking about him. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, in my head, I hear his voice, and he says, "Well, dude, we have been to the moon."
He was giving verification.
Out of everybody that listens to the show and knows I am a space nut, I love space and everything, and we've had these conversations. And again, I wasn't even thinking about the moon. I mean, I wasn't even in a sense really thinking of him at that moment, but I just hear his voice out of nowhere, and I don't know, is that him going, "Listen, I did find this out. I'll tell you this. We have been, but I would hear I'd hear these random, his voice. Just random sentences
didn't you all
about
have
stuff.
this issue at one point?
Both of
you.
I really
I was about to say you.
Well, that's
a number of them.
I
have a couple.
In my world,
Taryn,
a number of
because
them.
We know.
Yeah. But
we
it's
know
like,
you probably hear
And
absolutely everything he has to offer right now.
Right, and that leads me. I mean, now it's obviously different for all of us. And Taryn, I mean, you were his wife. I mean, is there something you want to?
Still is.
I'm sorry.
still the
You're right.
same.
I don't mean that. I apologize. I'm so sorry. You are his wife.
I refuse to use widow.
No. Absolutely.
No,
I agree.
even when she says she'll say something like Rick was. No, he still is.
Right.
Yeah.
No, and So, but
happens to all of us.
So
That's why I'm here to be obnoxious.
the morning he died. Well, first of all, in the 2 weeks after he came home from the hospital, I knew that he was going to die. He was still very determined to live.
Right.
I had asked him to send me there had been some songs over the years that he had played for me. They were country songs. I do not like country. I hate country music. But
you sound like her.
He liked it.
Right.
And there were songs that he played for me that were country songs that reminded him of me. And because I don't like country and don't know country, I wanted to make sure I knew what songs they were so that I could remember them and listen to them later. So I asked him to send me these songs. And there was one song in particular that he had played for me not too long before he died, and he didn't send me that one. And I was trying to get him to send me that one, and I couldn't remember enough about it to explain to him which song I meant.
Right.
And I was trying to tell him, but he was out of it by that time. He was already confused, and he never remembered. I never was able to communicate what I was talking about. So I never got the song from him. A half an hour after he died.
Right.
Nobody even knew he was gone yet. Mike's girlfriend, Laura, sent me the song.
Oh.
Not even realize.
Sent me the song.
Like, sent it to you. What did she say?
Random?
Did she say anything when she
It was
sent
it was the first of 3 songs that she sent me. And the songs, she said that she had found comfort in them when she went through this. So wow. This was Christmas morning.
That is incredible.
It was, nobody knew he was gone yet. It was only a half an hour. I was literally still sitting there with his body.
Right.
And the song that I've been trying to get came
That is
in a message
incredible.
from Laura.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
That is
And
wild.
It's so
it
amazing
goes on.
how you have those little.
I know Taryn doesn't.
I struggle with faith.
Yeah. So I keep telling her, in my world, that's a big deal.
That is,
He's
I think that's why I'm over
he's
here
like
going,
standing on the
what?
other side going, what the hell do
Yeah,
I gotta
it's
do to
right
bring
here.
this to her?
And it's crazy you say that because again, I was telling Melly, him and I, all the conversations we've had, all the topics we've talked about, the paranormal and all the different things about this. It's so hard to believe in a sense. I mean, it's definitely hard, but like he now has all the things
answers
that we talked about on the show.
Oh my gosh, I didn't think of that.
Really?
I sit there. He's got call it
All the
Heavendelphia.
knowledge now. We
call
thought
it
he was smart
anything.
before.
Oh, he's got a podcast up there now, and now he's making fun of us.
I
Can you believe how
literally-
stupid they are down there?
He won't give it to us, but what? Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't think of
Just
that. I did think about the fact that he now knows what is on the other side, but as far as the answers to like half the crap that we've talked about.
Right.
Right.
You know,
got it
I mean,
all now. He
now
knows.
he's going to be sitting here and, you know, doing a show, and he's going to be like,
So if you
I
get
wish I could tell you what it really
random
was,
crazy
but, you
ass
know.
thought about an alien, you're gonna know that that's true.
Well, remember we did an
Because Rick's gonna
episode
come
once.
to you and be like, Jenna, it's real.
Real
It's
quick,
there.
not to
Mike,
interrupt,
it's
there's-
not a dream.
I got to give a shout out real quick to I see a Jade, and I saw someone else come on saying that they love Aunt Taryn, so I see a couple
A
shout
couple
outs.
of my
on that.
nieces have come on and said
So,
that.
yeah, but
I love you too.
There you
I
go.
love you, Jade, and I love you, Sabrina.
Well,
No,
I said to Taryn, you know, when I first met Rick and first started doing this stuff and talking to him, he was always talking and had questions about non-local consciousness. And it would
that was
really-
his
Yeah.
favorite. Oh,
But after a while, and after the investigations, and after some readings with me, and after things, he never brought it up anymore. Did you ever notice that?
yeah, you know there is, because I remember it'd be almost weekly.
Yeah.
He would
say it
come
again.
back out. Oh, I'm sorry, Laura. I'll say it again. Love you, Taryn. Laura came on.
The love is coming
But no,
through.
you're right, because there was a few. I mean, we would talk about weekly, or it would at least come up in
Yeah.
some kind of news
Yeah.
thing or something.
Or
And
after
yeah,
the show.
You're right. After a while, it did. Yeah, it kind of
Because
came
he-
to an end.
Took the journey step by step,
Right.
and then was an absolute believer
Yeah,
that
yeah.
there was
No
something
doubt.
there. Yeah.
Do you? I think you had posted on Facebook. Well, actually, I know you did. I didn't just think of it.
Way to go.
Like, at least you didn't
Give
say
that woman another
you're
shot.
gonna be posting. Anyway.
Let me start over.
Yeah.
Give that woman a bottle of wine.
Look how red my cheeks are, by the way. That's from the alky. You had posted on Facebook that you had told Rick that you wanted him to haunt you.
Yeah. I said, don't scare the shit out of me, but haunt me.
Yeah,
Well,
he's doing
you
a pretty
know-
good job.
I was
Yeah.
going to ask you, do you
wait,
mind,
now
like,
I want to
or
hear
if you don't
this.
want to, it's fine. Like, have you noticed anything?
I was going to ask you that if you were willing
If
to
you don't
share
want
if
to.
you've
Spill
ever-
the tea.
It's
I'm with
totally
you.
understandable.
Well, what was that? What was the other big thing? There was a second.
The big one was the other day, but the lights, you weren't satisfied with the lights.
There was one
and
night.
the dime.
There was a dime. There was a light that was flickering like a lot,
Really?
At
And
one
does it
point.
flicker normally? Just
No. but
And
it
then
was flickering like crazy.
And then it stopped. And she said, if that's you, can you do it again? And a couple minutes later, it started
Yeah.
blinking again. I'm
We're
like, in
gonna
our
get
world?
you on an investigation. That's the perfect question.
But
Right
see,
now,
in
I'm
my
just
head, it was like, well, I said that. I said, if it's you, do it again. And it took like 5 minutes.
Well, it
so
takes
in
a
my
while.
mind,
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, it wasn't him then. It was the electric.
Yeah, it's not it's not
Electricity or whatever.
instantaneous.
Wow.
It's
Yeah.
Yeah,
it takes a
it's
while.
not going to be
That's
on
awesome.
cue right away.
Some work.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
what was the big thing? I'm literally drawing a blank.
so you woke up and saw
Oh my
an
God.
apparition.
Yeah, I did. I like.
I'm with
I
it.
think I blanked it out. So I woke up the other morning, and I was just waking up, like I was still half asleep, and I looked over at the couch, and on the end of the couch, thought I saw something that looked like a person sitting there, looked like a man sitting there.
right.
And I felt like I saw it enough that it made me gasp. Like I was
Like
like,
a startle.
you know,
I mean,
like,
obviously,
oh my
yeah.
God.
Yeah.
And then it just immediately faded away.
That's because
And
you
it-
showed fear.
And it took me, I think it was more shock than
Well,
fear.
but I
Just like-
I
But
was
they
just
don't-
shocked.
it's
Like,
that-
it
they don't
startled
last
me.
long anyway.
It's
They only
the
last
energy.
like
It's
Yeah.
the energy. It's like lighting a candle with a very small wick to it. It's like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So yeah, like
But it wasn't like, and like I was trying to like register it after the fact because it happened so quickly.
right.
And it didn't appear to be him. I think it was,
Okay.
I thought maybe after the fact that maybe it was like his grandfather because that was his grandparents' house.
Right.
Because it looked like an older man.
You have to think you're very open and prone to things
Yeah.
because of
Everything.
everything you've been
Sensitive.
experiencing.
Sensitive.
So
Perfect.
it's
Yeah.
like, you know, you will be experiencing things that you may have never
and where
before.
you're wanting
So, you know.
it
Yeah.
to happen so bad.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Your mind is like an open field. You're
Right.
just
Yeah.
waiting.
Yeah,
and hoping and praying it's
I
gonna come
absolutely. I
through.
mean, that comment about haunting me, I said that to him. I can't even tell you how many times.
I was going to
So-
ask you,
Wow.
did you just say that like
No,
towards the
it wasn't.
end?
No,
or-
it was.
Wow.
Which
I
he-
always said that.
Right.
Always that, you know, if if anything were ever to happen
What
to you,
she
you better
did
haunt
was
me.
she texted me.
Show my photo.
Well, real
I
quick.
swear it was him.
No, I'm sorry. Well, no, just real quick, because I lost track of time real quick here. No, like I said, we'll go on with it. But did you want to, because we have Kelly that's going to be calling in real quick. So.
Mine was short and sweet anyway.
No,
It
go
was
ahead.
very,
Sorry.
very funny. And I know Doug knows this story. And I don't know if Mike, or was Mike there? Or was that? No, I'm sorry. It was
I was just going to say that.
it
'cause
was
that
at
in between.
Wildfire, I believe.
I can't believe you said their name.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Shall not be named.
Now we owe him $20,000.
Listen, I can't believe you had like 4 shots and didn't think to bring us any.
Another
and I had to send
yeah.
you home.
And-
I was running. You do realize how quick I was running to try and get everything done? Oh my God.
Who is talking?
I know,
Where are
right,
they
yeah.
talking from?
Right.
Oh wait, let me put my picture up there. Nobody likes to see my face. I have a
That's
face.
not true.
I have a
Say,
face
you're
for
not
radio.
even up
Blasphemy.
here.
Where are you?
Where you at?
I'll bring it there. Oh,
There
oh
you
wow.
Thank you. If I have to be on camera, you got to be on camera.
I gotta
That's
fix
the
that.
rule.
I gotta fix that.
But
There
anyway,
we go.
mine's very short and sweet. Very okay, very to the point. I used to work, as many of our followers know, overnight, every night, 6 nights a week, and it was draining. Well, one night we were in studio, and I forced myself to come out because I did love the show that much, and Rick and being with Doug and the whole experience. I ended up face down
Oh, yeah.
on the table, knocked out, snoring on air, and I get woke up to Rick. Hey Mel, and like he's like nudging me, and I'm like, oh my God, and it was
That was
just
back
so
on the 2-hour
embarrassing.
shows, too, yeah.
But I look back on it, and I'm just like, I can only. Rick's probably going, "You stupid bitch, what's wrong with you?"
Listen,
I guarantee you he thought it was hilarious.
And he
Listen.
did, because he had a smirk on his face.
I'm sure,
and
I know the
as
smirk.
I'm like,
and that's
caught in the headlights.
right, and that's one of the things about Rick. I mean, how understanding the dude is.
yeah, I know.
There's
no
again,
doubt in my
listen,
mind. He thought it was the best thing in the world.
Again, it's been brought up before, but many years ago, I had a problem, and no, there's no secret. I had a little bit of a pill problem for a short period of time, and obviously, like everyone knew, Rick knew. And, a lot of people, I don't ever blame anyone, but a lot of people kind of turn their back and everything like that, which is understandable. But Rick just was like, I'm sure he would shake his head, but he kept it going. He never said, you know what, dude, I don't want you part of the show anymore, or, it's too much. He just kept pushing because, I don't know, I guess he knew that I would obviously get through it because, again,
That's
I mean,
just who he was. He
it's
accepted
been over.
everybody.
Yep, absolutely.
Where
It's
they
been
were in the
over,
moment.
right? I mean, it's been well over a couple of years now. I mean, it's over 5 years. It's been a long time, but he was just someone that stuck by it, and that's why I hold that thing. And we do have, I think, Kelly on the line, but I do want to share. That's one of the things. In fact, I said to him a couple days before he passed.
I was going to talk about that.
He was, he couldn't really
So
say
Rick.
much, but I actually, when he was able to, I actually had said to him, listen, I just want to thank you for everything. Like, Rick, like, I love you, man, like, so much, I'm here always. He looked at me with every little energy he had. He'd be like, all right, man, calm down. Like, that was the
I
last thing he
witnessed
said
it,
to
and
me.
it was the
funny,
best thing.
so-
And I said, "Did
But
he
yeah.
just tell you to calm
So,
down?"
yeah.
He literally, and Doug was like,
down.
"Yeah."
I was like, okay.
He's like, "All right, man, relax."
It's like I
That's what-
had that
All right, man,
opportunity,
relax.
so.
And
Sorry. Well, no.
The other thing I wanted to share that I
Oh,
didn't
I
get
thought
my chance.
I thought you said it was quick. I'm sorry.
Well,
Really, Doug?
Okay. I'll hear about it.
You worried about Melly taking an extra
Right?
few seconds?
I'll
I
hear
know,
about
right?
it.
The other thing was he called me out all the time.
Oh yeah.
All the time. I would just be Rick was a very intelligent man.
I knew what he
tell
was
me y'all
talking
know
about
this.
half the time.
And he would, once he got on something, he would go. Taryn, I know
God,
you can
yes.
relate.
I would tune him out.
Thank you.
And
I would at one point or another start under the table, secretly, like we're in class under the table on my phone. Isn't that right, Mel?
Yeah. Well, it's like Mike calls it. He used to
And I'm
call our
like,
conversation
what?
pot talk or whatever, you know?
What?
Well, that's because
Rick?
we were all smoking pot.
And he just thought it was the best. And he'd kick his seat back, I can remember,
Yeah.
and just start like laughing to himself. Like,
Even if
I
there was
got
a
you.
dead silence, he'd be like, all right, Mel, how about you? And then he would just
Every time. And I'm just
yeah.
like, all right, Rick, got you.
He did it to me too, because he would do the same thing to me at home. He'd be talking about something or another, and I wasn't listening. And I would just sit there and
Listen, in my defense, I would start out listening.
It just got to be too much.
I don't think I
But
ever.
Rick had so much knowledge in that
Yeah.
brain. He would just run it and run
Yeah.
it.
Oh, I
and run
know.
it.
I would only
know.
chime in when he would say like penis.
Yeah, right? Like
All right.
squirrel.
Well,
Yeah.
before that word comes out again, so we have actually Kelly's been
well,
sitting
hold
on the
on.
line.
Wait a
Now
second,
you
wait a
got
second.
her
Oh, I'm
speaking,
sorry.
So
sorry.
So I would, whatever. And he would eventually look at me and go, "You didn't hear a word I just said, did you?" And I'd be like, "No, I'm sorry."
Yeah, it wouldn't be that bad for me. He would just
Yeah.
be like, "In that right, Mel?" And when there was the deer and Carlton headlights, he just, like I said, lean his chair back and, like, got her again. And I'm just like, stop it, Rick.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't call him out. I was like, damn.
Well, now you know if you get random thoughts of you have no idea where they're coming from. Then it's him.
I get that quite often
Yeah.
from Rick.
So,
So,
all right. Well, Kelly is actually on the line.
Hi,
She's
Kelly.
been waiting on the line here. Kelly, you there?
Rick usually is waiting for me.
I'm here. How
All
you
right.
guys doing?
Hey, good. All right. So, again, we're on the line. We have Kelly Roncace.
Boozy.
If it wasn't for her, I would have never been introduced to Rick, so
Holy
you can thank her.
Uh-oh, here comes
Kelly.
Mike.
So, Kelly, how you making out?
I'm good. How you guys doing?
Well, you know, the circumstances, but
We're
here.
drinking.
Yeah.
No. We had a shot.
We had a
Mike's
shot.
sitting there drinking, but you know.
Oh, I'm going to go pour everybody another one.
His pregnant
Are you not
girlfriend's got to
sharing
pick him
anymore?
up.
What the hell?
I'll be right in there.
Actually,
You
he
spiked-
left us with the
You
bottles.
spiked Gina.
I can't get over there.
Oh.
So, but yeah, so I know you've been waiting on the line, and again, I know you've had quite a few experiences and things with Rick, but what's something that sticks out in your mind you might want to share?
Oh, yeah. Well, I wanted to tell you guys that I'm sorry I couldn't be up there tonight, but
Right.
one of the biggest things me and Rick and Taryn all have in common is our love of dogs.
Oh,
And I have my little Chloe, who I babysit all the time. She got dropped off today after work, so I didn't want to have her drop off and then me leave right away. So,
right.
it's that dog thing. Taryn understands that. I know.
I do.
But yeah, so I know I had messaged you, Doug, because I couldn't remember the order of things, and that's what it was. Rick had reached out to me
Right.
because of the Paranormal Corner column and wanted to interview me for that. So I
Right.
did that, and I said, hey, you talk to this Doug guy because he's got the paranormal group.
Yes.
And that's how we all became a crew and how we all became friends. So that's pretty cool.
Right, and that's like I said in the beginning of the
See
show,
that,
you
Doug?
know, when
now you took Kelly's memory.
you know,
Damn
it
you.
was, and that's how it was. He reached out to her, and she was like, "I'm no good at interviews, but here, reach out to him." And then that's just kind of how it all started. It was like
Number two,
the
sir.
Paranormal Corner, and here we are with Paradelphia.
Kelly, now that you're on
Yep.
air, I can actually ask you, like, ear to ear, I guess you could say.
What is that? Fireball?
So do you remember when Rick came to that investigation with us? Do you remember him calling out the inmate spirits? It was like, oh, you're a rapist, you're a child molester, come fuck with me. Do you remember that?
Oh, my God.
And it was the best thing ever.
And
It was
you guys
so
just
great.
met the guy, and he's in a prison.
Literally,
for
he
smoking.
had a recorder in his hand, and he was a beast. He was like, "You want to fuck with somebody? Come fuck with me. Come touch me." He was dead on.
Yeah.
And me and Kelly were sitting at the I guess the
table.
little table things, whatever the hell they are.
Yeah.
And he was just
Little table.
walking the top row, calling them out.
He's like, "Go mess with them. Let's see it."
No, he wanted
I
them
know.
to come get. He was ready. He was ready
Right.
to take them on and whoop their ass. And that was the best thing I've ever seen.
I mean, hey,
Remember, we were kind of like I'm scared of this
Oh,
guy, but
shit.
then, yes, he fits right in. That's
Right,
Oh, yeah.
right. I'm glad that you remember that. That makes me so happy.
Yep.
Good.
so yeah, so go
yeah.
ahead. Sorry.
Right after Rick left us, I was at work actually, and I was sitting there thinking like I do, and I went on the website and I started listening to podcasts, old ones.
Right.
And I listened to one. It was like me and Rick and Michael Francolino. Is he there?
Oh,
Yeah, he's behind us pouring more shots. He's behind. If you're watching, he's on my one shoulder.
He's pouring more
It
shots.
was limoncello.
I know. He's trying to get people drunk on a Thursday.
Why not?
Is that limoncello, Mike?
Melly doesn't drink on
Oh,
another
my.
Can't
day.
hear me. He needs headphones. Is that limoncello,
Wow.
Mike?
I got my headphones on.
limoncello?
I thought it was
Where?
limoncello.
I think.
No, there's pineapple vodka. There is Gentleman's Jack. There is root beer
What is
whiskey,
Gentleman's-
Oh, that's
which
it.
I think is delicious.
Is that what I have?
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's what you
Oh,
have.
yay.
And I gave the last of the fireball to Taryn
Okay.
because
Fireball.
Maybe I should have added some paranormal into this or something like that. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
The paranormal.
I'm only
in the
kidding.
shots.
I'm only kidding. This is perfect. Sorry, Kelly. Go ahead. You
Every
were...
other lady and Michael
Hey.
and the video guy.
To Rick.
To Rick.
I didn't get one.
There you
but... Okay.
Okay, go ahead, Kelly.
I
No
didn't-
one else talk. Let Kelly finish.
I didn't get one, but go ahead.
She does not have no shot.
I'm waiting for Gavin to come on and be like, "Mom, did I see you just take a fucking shot?"
Go ahead, Kel.
Oh, no. It was I was here. I think I called in. It was Rick and Mike, and he said something like, you know how I'm 5 years old and like I get silly with jokes. Like I know somebody just said a little while ago, and I was laughing.
They did right
But
before you
Rick
came
said
on the line.
something.
Or
Yeah, but Rick said a word,
you
and
there?
it was like a serious word. Like what? But I was like, and he's like, oh, Kel, and like he just always would like roll his eyes and say, Kel.
That's so true.
and again,
Yeah, all really good memories.
right, and again, even with the show, like, sometimes I could look at Rick and I know when it would go way off topic, especially when we had a full studio, and him, you could sometimes, he never had a mad annoyed face. He would get the face like, all right, time to move on, but he would always just go with it. Like, I don't think
He'd say, all right.
just like, yeah.
Anytime I would go derail, he'd go, well, okay.
Yeah, right,
It's like,
right.
Moving on.
Or you would mention, you would mention something about some singer or something like that. Jonas Brothers or whatever.
One
yeah.
Direction.
Nicole's coming.
I was a prominent one. I remember when she thought she was in Philly seeing them or something like that, and she was really in Camden.
Oh,
What?
Remember?
What did
What?
you
Did
do?
you see a band recently, not that long ago, when they were in studio, and you were
Oh, she
like
saw
drunk, and
K-pop.
you were like,
K-pop.
Them.
I'm watching
Okay.
not One Direction, but who's the other ones?
Jonas Brothers?
The Jonas Brothers. Did you go to a Jonas Brothers concert?
No, the last concert we went to, Rick was there.
Right.
Lannis.
Oh, there's another memory.
So maybe
Another
that's what it was.
Showing his love for
No,
Taryn.
you would spoke
Oh, that
up
was the
about
one I didn't go to.
Yeah, lame. Oh, Laura was there.
Same.
Because I remember her
Feel
sending me
ya.
pictures with you guys.
The important people were there.
Oh, nice. Great.
Anyway, it was a Jonas
I
Brothers
know
concert
Alanis.
that was
No.
going on at the time. And you had said something, and you were drinking, I guess, at the same time. I thought you were at the concert, and you were like, Philadelphia something. And I was like, wait a minute, aren't they in
Oh my
Camden?
gosh. If I was drinking, I can only imagine.
Right. So anyway, that was just a little
Probably.
trigger.
Probably.
Sorry.
I mean,
Nothing to do with Rick, but actually it did have to do with Rick, because Rick was actually, you guys were trying to figure out what brother was who, or One Direction, or what band member went to what.
like I said, I these new band
many
people
memories.
and these new group, I have no idea. That was
Rick hated
another
them all.
thing. That was another thing him and I had in concert. Oh my God, common was when like y'all would be bringing up these people, and it's just like no idea who any of it was.
Yeah, Rick
But-
definitely didn't know. Rick was like, what directions?
And real quick too, going back like you were just talking
Oh,
about.
hi, Kelly.
Going back to there, and he's giving a middle finger. See,
That
he
is a beautiful
That's
thing.
that's
That's
awesome.
great.
Yeah.
Love it.
But going with what you were saying about the investigation with like you and Kelly, and here he is, he just met everybody, and he's talking about all the rapists
It was
and
the
everything.
best.
He was actually, when we first got the Kinect system, which the Kinect system, it's
That was his
using
thing.
the
That
was wild.
using an Xbox Kinect sensor. It'll pick up an apparition in a stick figure form. And I remember we were doing Old Shady Lane, and we had it set up in the basement.
Oh, God. Yeah.
He was the very first person to ever pick up that a figure on it, because we had just set it up, we were using it, and he's sitting there staring at it because he was intrigued. That and Obulus, he would have his notebook with Obulus, and he'd be writing down every word, trying to connect them together. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, so, like, I have notebooks still of his words from the Obelisk where he would try to connect it. So, I mean, that's the thing for someone who came on some investigations, like, just his knowledge and everything with it. It's just,
And you can just tell he was just in
he just
it.
fit right into
He was
it.
so in it.
I remember he was excited as anything that first time I invited him to that investigation.
That's why I said me and Kelly got to see him firsthand. He was ready to take them on and whoop their ass if he could.
Right.
I don't know if I
Yeah.
ever went.
Yeah.
He got over that
Yeah.
relatively quickly after a couple of investigations where the last couple at Mario's house were like,
I don't think I ever went on an investigation with Rick. I'm trying to
It's
remember.
hard to say, yeah.
I mean, I've been on.
There was
Yes,
he didn't go very many.
Yeah, I don't think I.
I only went when it was at the bar.
Well, when we did,
that
when
too.
we did that one,
We did do ones at the bar, though.
right? Well, we
Harper's.
did it in Harper's, Clementon.
Yep,
Yeah, I remember.
I was there.
Because Mike was there, he had a backpack and alcohol on
Yep,
him.
I remember.
Yeah, but
Kelly, you
like
were there.
any other day, right, Mike?
yeah, but
Yep.
but yeah, like that was the one thing about it. I mean, that was his two favorite, the Obulus and again the Connect.
was his,
I mean, the
his
Connect
main, yeah.
was his, because I think one of the things he loved to do is knowing how the Obulus will sometimes spit out words and sometimes like you got to piece together, and I think that's what he intrigued him, was that puzzle.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out, okay, is
But-
this going along with everything, or is this just picking up random
But
words?
let's be honest.
That picture, I'm sorry, that right there, I was going to mention that.
You're supposed to block out the logo in the
That
background.
that right
Partners
there,
again.
Oh,
is-
there's
that's got to be like my favorite memory right there, because I remember when I was
That was a
I
great
have
picture.
been reached out by so many people saying, "Oh, be a part of our show. Oh, let's do this." Rick and I had meetings with people who like wanted to have ideas and wanted us to just find an idea to do a show.
Didn't you guys get excited over somebody wanting your autograph?
Oh yeah, this woman, she was just like wanted our autograph at the Comic-Con we went, Monster Mania Con we went 2 years ago.
Hear that? Mhm.
But anyway, you know, and one of the things, the reason that show that I was on, the Ghost Nation, one of the things they reached out to me and mentioned, they said, well, we see you do, you know, you have a team plus you do a podcast. Well, of course, I wasn't going to associate myself with a podcast, and I was like, well, if you're going to do anything with that, I got to get you in touch with Rick, because I always said, you know, all the little TV opportunities and whatnot that we
I've
had,
always wanted to pull Rick
you
in,
know, and that's
absolutely.
one thing I'm so glad, like,
Yeah.
you know, like they were, again, he's on national television and doing this is Rick Prewitt, you know, and that's, and it's still, they still air those replays over and over again.
Try waking up to your voice.
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
we-
television.
What the? I'm sorry, I feel that
What
shot.
is happening?
Do you know how red my face is? But what was the last podcast I called in and tried to act?
You tried to act like an
You were
English woman or
British?
something. Yeah,
That's what I
British.
was here for. Yeah, you were like British.
Yeah, I was trying, but they were like, "You don't sound like you're."
I was going to say, yeah,
I
you
remember
can tell that.
I wasn't here, but I remember listening.
But
Yeah.
I think the very last podcast that I was on, that Rick was here, it was you. You came like late. I don't know what you were doing. I think you just came
Well,
to
yeah, I was
visit.
here. It was a couple weeks.
Were you here?
It was
the
like
2 weeks in a
Sephora.
row that I showed up.
It
I
was
don't
like
know.
right before
Randomly.
I think Halloween, because I know the last show that him and I did together was November. It's so crazy to think about this. It was exactly 1 month and 2 days before he passed, because we did an episode about the like the origin, like Batman and all that, and him and I did that, and I think that was like November 23rd or 26th actually. All I know is it was like exactly a month.
Okay.
You know, and it's like, you know, went back and listened, because then I did another show, and then we did two, and then of course everything happened, the holidays, all that, and then here we are back. But yeah, that was the last one I did. It was like literally a month before Christmas Day, and again, it makes it so hard to believe. You know, I mean, the one thing I always said, even when he was diagnosed a while ago, you would never know. Have never known that he was going through that.
Yeah.
And then it's just all of a sudden, I invited him to the Eagles game, Eagles-Chargers game.
Did you?
And then,
Remember
you know,
that? He was
I
too
just
sick to go.
want to get back to one thing really quick. I hate to be a stickler, but you know what? That's how I am.
Let's do it,
Let's
Jean.
do it. So, the day Taryn saw the apparition, she texted me and asked me to do what I do, which Rick did all the time. Hey, could you do what you do?
we're going to get you a shirt that says, can you do what you do?
Do what you, I
or
could
words
hear
to
him
the
saying
effect.
that.
So I said, okay, I'm going to court. I work there.
Maybe, yeah,
put
the
that
good
in
thing
there.
you put that in there.
And then I came back to her later with, did you see an apparition? Because I felt her grandmother come through. But she felt like a mother.
You're talking about Taryn's?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what I was told was that that's who he can't get through. He's
still too young.
learning.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's who he sent.
He has a spokesperson, pretty much.
And he's got people that he has been asking nicely
Yeah, I bet.
to get a message to her that
Right.
he's okay. And I've never, in all my years of doing this, seen anybody. So damn set on making sure she knows.
Which it's obvious because even when he was here, the number one concern.
And I also think it
Absolutely.
has to do with
There are more. I mean,
Yeah, there was that dream that I
that dream.
What about the
Picture
photo?
of the cat.
There was a picture.
There
That's
was-
She
what I'm
mentioned
picture
it
of the cat.
earlier.
Yeah.
She had came up on the screen
Oh,
asking
did
about
she?
it.
Yeah,
Yes.
you guys sent me.
That is such a
I love
great
that.
picture.
That was such a good.
That was
I love
frightening.
it.
That
That was
was
fun.
that was the year that we drug Mike to a place every week to a different
my
Halloween
gosh.
shows every week.
Yep, and I'd go out and make
he
sure
did
we
it.
broadcast
That
it
is
and
the best
record it.
thing
Let me,
I've
I
ever
went
all
out
of them.
in the cold.
That's a
This is
great
twice
picture.
because
Yeah,
it's
that
cold
is a
out
good
now
one.
too. So I went out in the cold twice for Rick Prewitt. I don't go out in
How
the
dare
cold
he.
for anybody.
Right.
I
Right.
do not go out in the cold for anybody, even my kids. I went out
Damn.
one of
But-
those nights.
But
You know what
yeah,
he says to that?
I was just
He says,
exactly giving a thumbs up. But no, yeah, the picture because Julia sent me that picture too.
yeah, like I said,
And
she
what's
had mentioned
haven't
it.
seen it.
interesting about that is, like I was saying, anytime, like, pictures are difficult, obviously, because, it's a
Right.
still picture, it's whatever's going around. But anytime any kind of, in a sense, spirit photo happens, everything's always blurry because it's the energy, it's
Right.
abstraction. And then if you take multiple and it's happening over and over again, and then all of a sudden it's clear, what's interesting about that picture is it looks like there is some sort of hand reaching out. And
Do you
and
have it? I sent you a text. I asked you to send it to me, but I don't know if you got my
Yes.
text.
No, I did. You? I don't know. I'll have
I
to.
don't
But
know.
yeah, I'll say. But no, that's was. And again, I always said that. There's another one from a little bed and that beef and beer we hosted bed and breakfast. Yeah, me and Rick went.
Say what?
Rick and I went to a bed
You
and
guys
breakfast.
went to bed breakfast.
We did
know,
go
a
to
lot
a
of
bed and
work.
breakfast.
we
Oh
did.
boy.
Yeah,
Yeah, we did an investigation.
Barrett's. Barrett's plantation.
No, no. Oh,
No.
yeah.
I know.
The
Right.
plantation.
No?
We did
Yeah.
an investigation.
Well, I
there.
remember when
They
we
taped
had
it.
one too many.
when we
No,
went.
I didn't. I have pictures right here. We
When
taped
we
it.
went to also when we did that investigation outside Gettysburg,
Wait, stop.
what the antique place?
Because there's a
Barry.
memory coming through, and I have a feeling that's going to be
Oh, there's a memory. Oh,
from
okay.
our Gaffin.
Oh, Gavin. Okay, well we'll let him share that then.
He is
Okay.
going to be posting it, however.
Okay, we'll
So,
keep an
gotta
eye
keep
out
our
on
eye
that.
out.
But yeah, I mean that's and that was one thing I know he had mentioned that to me a lot of times too. Is like even in the beginning he actually had said he's like, man, I've always wanted to see what doing these investigations was all about, and he used to like it. But
I'm
yeah,
not the
so
only one.
Yeah, he
Right.
was. He
here I can crack the.
when we did the investigation at Barry's Antique Store in Gettysburg, I'm supposed to be the most haunted.
We drove out to the thing at midnight.
Yeah.
to
So-
grab Battlefield.
I had gone.
That's right.
I had
Well, yeah.
I had gone up there with an invite for Barry because he was very particular about who we invited up there.
Right.
So I went up. We did our thing there. It was quite a weekend. And first of all, when I left, I was like, you got to let them up. You got to. He's like, well, I don't let investigative teams come in. You were a little different because you're not the team. Yeah, but you got to you just got to.
Oh, it was.
So
it was.
He's like,
interesting, but
okay.
yeah.
So we get up there and the whole team now. And it was like, what the fuck?
Oh, it was intense.
It was.
It was too much
Wild.
because you had faith.
I did have faith. She had
and
to
it
leave.
was too much, and I was like, let's go upstairs. And
Yeah.
me and her went antique
Well,
shopping.
plus you had that poor. By the way, Kelly, are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering if I just thought of that
My
real quick.
God.
Not saying forgot, but okay. No, you're okay. But no, because and that's what was intense about that was because he had it all set up with mirrors and like the portals and
Right.
everything, and I mean that just put investigation
Yeah.
all in a whole nother
Level.
level because he had that talking board and all that.
I'm talking. Yeah, he had the board that he did some readings for a couple of us that night too, even Faith. But I have to say that through this whole thing, from when Rick got sick originally, Barry has been either in touch with Rick, in touch with me. Has really gone above and beyond to help us and to, give us whatever we needed, or just to check in to see how's everything going or how are you doing. He's really a great guy and a friend we met through Rick through the show.
Well, and Barry appeared a couple of times on the show too, and that was one of the things, about wait, what's
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry. Well, listen, real quick, because I just see Kelly. We'll go ahead and let you go because I see you got other, things. But I want to thank you for calling in. Obviously.
Absolutely.
So, but yeah, when
Miss you saying bye at the end of every show.
So yeah. So, but whenever, of course, anytime you're free, come on up, join us on the show. So.
That sounds like fun.
All right. Thank you, Kelly.
Good idea.
See you, Boozy.
All right, guys.
All right. See you later.
So, as far as the pick goes, do you want to tell people, because you've been talking about it, but you didn't really tell people?
Well, no. I started to, and then of course I talk a lot, so I got sidetracked. But go ahead if you want.
So, the picture that that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
My brother and sister-in-law were over helping me with some things, and my sister-in-law took a few pictures of my cat. She was all snuggled up on a blanket. She looked really cute, so she tried to take her picture. And she had to take 3 or 4 pictures before one came out clear. All of the pictures that she had taken were very blurry. And my sister-in-law, she takes pictures constantly. It's like, she's like the family photographer. She's always taking pictures of everybody, chasing everybody down with the camera. So, and she's listening to this, so I'm sure I'll get an angry text for me saying that. But she took 3 or 4 pictures. It's not like she's not familiar with the camera, or doesn't know how to use a camera or whatever. She does. And she kept getting these blurry pictures, and it looked like there was a streak through the one picture. And then finally, after 3 or 4 tries, she did get a decent picture of my cat. But so that was the one thing.
And that was the day before the apparition.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the dream. You had a dream.
The dream, that was the second thing. The first thing was the song, but I didn't know it because I wasn't up to listening to it right away. So I didn't even realize for the first couple weeks. But the dream that I had was maybe a day or 2 after he died.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I remember, yeah.
And I had a dream that somebody was calling for him, on the phone. And the person that was calling for him, I answered the phone, and I said, I told the person he's dead. And what I remember hearing was this guy who said, this is, and I don't even remember right now what the guy's name is, but it was very clear in my mind at the time. He said, my name, I am so-and-so calling for Rick Prewitt.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, he's dead. And then I woke up. It startled me awake. And I realized that the name that he told me, he was dead too. I knew this because it was a friend of Rick's that he played baseball with that died maybe 10, 12 years ago.
Right.
Someone I never met, didn't know, which is probably why I can't even think of his name right now.
Which makes it even more interesting too.
Right, because I can't even think of his name right now. But I remember that this guy died 12 years ago. I think it was, I want to say, a brain aneurysm. And I realized when I woke up that he wasn't saying, I'm calling for Rick Prewitt, I'm calling to talk to Rick Prewitt. He was saying, I'm calling you for Rick
him.
Prewitt.
That's
Oh,
excellent.
I just got chills.
Isn't that great? I remember
Wow.
when Doug actually told me about that. When you told him, I was like, that is so
Wow.
fucking
It was
so
a weird
in your
dream.
dream, did you say Well, like, what do you remember if you said anything
No, she
bad?
just startled. She woke up.
I got startled and I woke up. That seems to keep happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
And you can't. It's.
And my sister-in-law just texted me the name. She remembered.
Okay.
I didn't.
I
It's
haven't
Brian
answered.
Wilson.
There you go.
The guy's name is Brian Wilson.
well, real quick. So we do have Mario on the line now.
Oh yay!
Mario Cerrito.
Yo.
What's up, man? Sorry you
What's
couldn't
up,
make it.
dog? What's up, guys?
Not much. Sorry you couldn't be here tonight, but I know you'll be coming in because again, not to
Yeah, did you
obvious.
mention
Yes, I will.
Yes, I mentioned in the beginning, that Mario is going to be, coming in and being part of the crew when he obviously can. But yeah, so we'll be joined by Mr. Mario Cerrito on a more frequent basis. But
Mario.
with not
Yes,
being able to
yes,
come
you
in
will.
tonight, he wanted to call in and share a couple stuff. So what's up, Mario?
Yeah.
How's everything going, man?
Good, man. Good. Just working a lot of hours and doing the movie stuff. So
Another
you know,
victim
it's
of
been
COVID, also.
crazy.
But
Yes.
you haven't
Yeah, I
had me
just got
star
over.
yet, so I mean,
Oh,
listen,
Jenny.
I'm available.
Is that Jennabee?
Yeah, of
That's
course.
Jennabee, isn't it?
The one and
Yeah, how would I
only.
know?
It's funny. It's funny you know that just by what she says.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
But
So,
I will
How's
say.
the, what's that?
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, how was the show going tonight?
Oh, good.
I wasn't
mean,
able to listen up to now.
They had me. I can't tell you the last time I drank any alcohol, but they had me do a shot for Rick earlier. So right when we came,
Oh, that's awesome, man.
right when we came on the air, we had a shot for Rick. So
And then
it
us
was good.
girls.
And then they all had a shot. I didn't have a second one, but that's probably for the
other
best.
than the Hogates.
So
Hey Mario,
Great.
it's Gene.
That's awesome. Hey, Gene.
How are ya?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. You
Good.
actually come on the show. Rick had you on the show as a guest for your first movie. Am I correct? The list was it
Yes.
The Listing?
No, it was Deadly Gamble.
That's
That's how
right.
I met Rick.
That's right. That's on Netflix now, right? Yeah. And
Yes. Go ahead.
yeah, in true Rick fashion, you meet him once, you're his friend,
You're
and
hooked.
now you're going to be coming
That's
in.
and that was the one thing too, because Mario, I mean, him and I have been talking a lot, especially ever since Rick passed about everything, and that was the one thing saying like Rick was always a huge supporter of Mario and all that,
Yeah.
and definitely always was sharing. What you're up to. Like, he would read your Facebook pages with
Yup.
your movies and everything. Human Hibachi, again, Deadly
Huge
Gamble back,
supporter.
Yeah.
so yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I know you want to share a couple things, man. So what's
I
up?
do, yeah.
What's going on?
So I'll give you like a quick background of how I met Rick and then how the relationship developed. I think it was 2014. He reached out to me, I think through Facebook, I want to say.
That was a big
And,
year with Rick. Everyone's 2014.
Yeah,
we got new.
2014.
Oh,
And
Yes.
that's because
Yeah.
14's a phenomenon.
yeah, so I ended up coming. Or actually, I didn't come on the show, but it was a telephone interview. And we got to talking, and after that, he had me on the show. Now, we weren't kind of friends yet. We were just he had me on the show, and then he might have had me on, 4 or 5, 6 more times after that through 2014 to 2017. And then I believe, didn't you and Rick come to the premiere of The Listing?
Yes, we did. Yep, when you had it in the
Yeah.
theater. Yep. That was the first time I
Yep,
think
and-
I had met you face to face.
That was right. Yeah,
Yep.
that was the first time you and I had met. And
Right.
then from that point, that was 2015. Then that's when me and Rick really started to get tight in terms of me and Rick connected with me on a level on storytelling. He's a storyteller.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we would bounce ideas off each other because me being a storyteller, I might have some crazy idea that I don't want to tell anybody because people don't understand it, but I would tell Rick.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of times, yeah. Me and Rick would talk about things before they were even made, like Human Hibachi. That was the big one. I was
Really?
constantly throwing ideas off him.
Interesting.
Yes. So a lot of times, Rick would know about stuff before it happened, like a certain scene that I was going to shoot.
Wow.
I would say, Rick, and I would show him or I would tell him, and I would wait to get his input, and he was a huge supporter of mine.
He was like
and
your consultant.
That, to me, means the world.
Yeah.
That's
Correct.
awesome.
Yeah, and And he would have ideas that he was constantly thinking up of stuff like that Pine Barrens idea that he wanted to do. And
Right.
he would come to me and say, how could we do this? Or how can this be done? Or so he was me and him connected on that storytelling level, and that he was a dreamer like me. He had constantly had some kind of project he wanted to get into, and me and him really connected that way. And
Right.
you know, he was in my he had brought, I believe that was his niece into the movie, that he was an extra in. He was an extra in Human Hibachi. So, you know, me and Rick and obviously the Ghost Nation show. I mean, that was all facilitated between you and Rick. And so, I mean, we did a lot of cool stuff within that, I guess, 8-year span. And, and like I said, he was a huge supporter of Human Hibachi. And again, like I had told Taryn, we're going to be dedicating the sequel to him because he was so excited for the sequel. And, you know, and I actually got a clip from him. I'd asked him a couple months before he passed. I needed like a radio sound clip to come out of a car in the sequel. So he sent me a Paradelphia snippet that's also going to be in the sequel as well.
That is cool.
I think me and Rick were the ones that me and Rick were like the only ones. I don't remember if you were there or not.
I went to one during Human Hibachi.
It was at the bar.
Right. At the
And
the thing,
I think Rick stayed till like 6 a.m. too. And it got to the point that we were like, I think we all need to go home.
Yeah,
we're tired.
And see, and that's kind of it's like this. It's crazy because it's like the relationship, you know, that you developed with him with your ideas and stuff. It's kind of the same way I did with the ghost hunting stuff. You know, you just meet him to do an interview, and then things just kind of took off. And like you had mentioned, the Pine Barrens idea. I mean, I always had ideas of different things, and you know, he would be like, "Oh, well, you should try like this." And the Pine Barrens, which again we talked about, something we still want to pursue, because that was an idea where he was like always on it, like we should try it like this, and we should do this, and I mean, and of course, you know, of anyone, especially with being the filmmaker and everything, just how many times do you try to be creative and then you don't realize how much you do realize how much someone's a big part of your life and what you do, but you really don't realize it until obviously the worst time. So, but
exactly, and like I said, he was just somebody that I knew I could go to constantly when I wanted to. Like, I would show him clips of like the movies before they were even like out yet. So I would say, hey, look at this or check this. And I didn't do that to anybody. I mean, I might have done that to family members or like somebody involved in the film, but he was like somebody because he really believed in the art.
Right.
And that I appreciate. I really appreciated that about him.
And you would never say a word to anybody about that.
Yeah, no one ever knew anything about it. Yeah.
That's obvious.
I thought he told me he was writing up a bill. I thought he told me that. He was like, I got to send Mario a bill for
That's funny.
Taryn's holding an envelope right now. Thought you were going to be here, but no, just kidding.
But he was just like somebody that you could. He would give you honest feedback.
Oh yeah,
you see what I'm saying? Like he would. He's a straight shooter, and he would say, well, you know, I didn't like it. And if he said that, then I would know, well, it probably sucks. So he was like,
Rick says no,
he was that guy that, So, you know, it was just, you know, somebody that, man, he was great like that way. And I just, you know,
and that's,
I'm happy to, you know, to hold up this show with you and you guys. It's just going to be something I look forward to. So
Perfect replacement.
Right, and that's one of the biggest things, the biggest reasons, you know, when I thought of the idea, because again, you know, not a lot of times, not everybody can make every week and everything, and you know, obviously, no one will ever replace Rick. As I said at the beginning of the show, I will always be co-host. He will always be host.
Exactly.
But like I came to Taryn, you know, with the idea, of course, about having it, because again, where you and Rick had that closeness, just like all of us did in your own way.
Mario, it sounds like you are driving. So wait till you
I'm
see
parked
this.
now. I was driving home from work. Yeah.
Don't call him out.
And then I'm just saying on behalf of
she
this
wanted to tell you
fantastic fucking picture. This picture is so phenomenal of Rick. I can't wait for you to see it if you didn't get to see it yet.
I'll send you a picture of it.
Oh my God, Jenna got it. It's on canvas. It's so incredible.
Now,
it's just it's for the studio.
That's awesome.
Now, real quick, Julie just shared, Rick was the only one Jackson has ever let read his writings until he went to college. So I guess that's a family member.
Yeah.
So it looks like a lot of people
See?
would always go to
Right.
him with all that different
Yeah,
stuff.
and that's crazy. You know what else I went to? Like a lot of, living in my house, a lot of like things we would catch on cell phones and all.
Right.
He would be the first one I'd send it to.
Oh yeah,
Like
right.
with like the paranormal stuff, and then he would be like, "Oh, I'm going to show Doug," and then so I was facilitating a lot of stuff for him. So
in fact, I think again when everything took place, even way before Ghost Nation, when we came and investigated originally, I think it was Rick that said something about like, Mario's house, and that's again, he's like the center part of it all.
Opening up the door for Rick being able to just communicate. Sorry,
exactly.
Good. To anybody on any level.
Right.
Gavin he was trying to get his story across, but he couldn't call through, and he couldn't for whatever reason. His sports knowledge, Rick's sports knowledge.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that was the other thing. Yeah.
Gavin and
speaking
I think
of Gavin,
LeBron James,
hold on.
I think he said.
Gavin put it up.
Oh, did he?
Gavin says, I remember having a conversation with Rick. It was more of a debate about LeBron James and Michael Jordan, and he didn't like one thing I said because he liked Jordan so much. I always miss those conversations with him. So, yeah.
And that's
awesome.
Yeah, and they had that debate on the way to Gettysburg, and he also did say something about, and I wanted to ask you about, didn't they think they thought they saw an apparition and it was a statue?
He took a picture
and it scared the shit out of them both
because it was Jenna. I was driving and we were in Jenna's car. It was Rick and it was Gavin, and after we were done, like I said, I was like, let's drive through the battlefield real quick because it was nighttime. It was late at night.
We were being illegal,
and Rick took a picture. It was actually a Devil's Den area, and Rick took a picture and it popped up looking like there was a statue there.
Yeah.
I actually Googled Earth. I Googled Earth where we were exactly. There's no statue right there, and it was clear. It was like a dark personal.
And that was bizarre because I have my DSLR camera and it was malfunctioning. I couldn't even take pictures there.
Right. And
can I say something really quick? Mario, I'm a little upset because Rick was reading when I sent him my Twilight fan fiction, he would never read it.
Oh, Lord.
Jesus
He
God.
blocked my number.
They glisten in the sun, Jenna.
What?
Jenna used to have a sticker on her car that asked, like, do you sparkle or something?
But I'll send it to you, Mario. I'm sure you'll be interested.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Mario's the new Rick with all that now. But no, and again,
great.
going like you were saying, it's one thing that I thought about too, like, everyone had, it wasn't just like Rick having just one main, in a sense, relationship where he had like his own thing with everybody.
Yep.
Like
he had
him and I had our own thing.
A separate relationship to know each and everybody's topic, each and everybody's
like he touched people differently.
Yes.
Yeah, he touched people differently. Yeah.
It wasn't like this big like, oh yeah, okay, that's good. It wasn't like a generic like.
And that's kind of why I wanted to throw it in there, because it's like Rick with sports, Rick with movies, Rick with ghosts, Rick with it, just from every angle. Obviously, we have found out in the recent times, sorry Rick, Taryn did it, that he was a romantic, and none of us knew that. And I just want to pull that out because that is one of my biggest
Remember, we have children
fascinations.
listening.
It's not even about that. Just like his heart, like we all knew he had a big heart, but Rick's heart with Taryn, it's just incredible. Yeah. It goes above and beyond, and I was a witness to some of his fun heart when I was there past hours. But
of other people, it was always fun stuff. Right.
So, he just his heart to Taryn, I think, is the most incredible thing I think I've ever seen in a human being.
And
but anyway,
I was going to say to Mario that in testament to what you were saying, I was talking to Taryn. I think it was yesterday. But at Rick's services, there was a teacher who had worked with him for 5 months, right?
She was awesome.
Incredible.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember,
And she worked with Rick for 5 months, and he had such an impact on her that she took off from work.
Yes.
She came
and that was her main word.
And she said, I don't belong here, but I couldn't not be here.
I remember her saying that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I have no right to be here, she said.
Exactly.
Wow.
Right.
And her biggest word was impact.
People,
Oh, yeah. I mean, whether you knew for a month or many years. I mean, it was...
years,
That's Rick Prewitt.
That's amazing.
It's, anytime, anybody passes, you close with... I mean, of course, everybody, you have that, oh, they were a great person, and I know.
No, this
but
is true to heart.
When
facts.
I'm telling you, of course, there's nobody like anyone. We don't want to see anyone, but there is genuinely no one like Rick Prewitt.
No.
I'm telling you.
One of a
like,
kind.
In
Right.
fact, even
I
before
agree.
this, we used to always
No, I
say,
agree.
even you, Taryn, like, me and Melly and I, we used to always say, like, you guys are so great. Like, we did. Like, I mean, even before anything ever happened.
For God's sakes, you could tell Rick Prewitt that you murdered somebody. And he was like, I got you.
He'd be like, well, let's talk about it
Stay
on the
quiet.
show first.
Say, well,
No.
Like, literally, he would keep, like, just like he was
Right.
everybody's friend, whether he met you for a minute.
Right.
Did you
years.
have any more other memories, Mario?
I do have, I'm sorry, go ahead. I did have some I want to bring up before you go too, Mario.
Yeah, go ahead. But
Well,
I think like one of the coolest memories is having when you and him came over a few different times to do the initial investigation. Remember at my house?
Oh, yeah, especially when I had that apparition pop up in my face.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
You cuss.
dude.
Yep.
That was nuts.
He said,
Yep.
And
He did.
just like and Rick was the kind of guy that in my belief is a person that literally would do something for nothing all the time for somebody he
Yeah.
was cool with or cared about. Like
No
it was
doubt.
never about, and there was never an agenda with him. It was always
Right.
like because he cared about the situation or person.
That's a perfect
And
way to describe
That's
that.
rare.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
real rare, especially in the business that I'm in, because there's constant people that are just bloodsuckers.
Right.
Right.
And Rick was always, he was there just to help out, which
Yeah.
is that is rare.
that's rare.
I mean,
Yeah.
seriously.
An agenda.
And that's probably my fondest memory of him is his heart that way. And
Yeah.
that you
That's
can't
awesome.
find that. It's just
No.
hard. So
Right. Well,
Genuine.
I
Yeah.
do know, Mario.
genuine. Right. That's a good word.
Mario reached out to me. It's been a couple weeks now. It was like right around we were supposed to have the show initially, but your son
Right.
actually mentioned something
Yes.
to you about your friend or something, right?
Listen to this, Taryn.
Really?
So
And your mom.
okay,
or
so
something.
this
Yeah,
was
sorry.
my mom. That was weird because my mom is really skeptic when it comes to any kind of, not skeptic, but she's never seen ghosts or anything like that. And as crazy as it sounds, did I show you the text that time, Doug? What
Yes,
she
you
said
did.
to me, or
Yep.
Did
yeah,
I-
you sent it
Yeah,
to me.
she-
Yeah,
You
because
sent
he
it to me.
came through
saying
the
that-
door, couldn't wait to tell me about it.
Yeah.
Wild.
yeah, she was saying, and like seriously, like my mom does not do this, or she never has done this in my life. I've known her for 38 years. She said that Rick is going to try and communicate somehow, some way, and I'm like, I thought it was weird again because my mom's not a medium. My mom has never said anything like that before.
Just like out of the
And
blue.
It caught me off guard.
For somebody
It was
that
out
doesn't
completely
talk
out of the blue. And that, I want to say the next day, my son said he saw something in the basement again. And we haven't seen anything for 2
Since-
years now.
Right.
Since Ghost Nation.
Right.
Right.
And he said that he had saw some kind of like character or something, a white light coming across the basement. And he told my wife, and then literally this was like a week after the funeral.
Right.
And I thought it was really strange because I had always told Rick that my son sees stuff in the house.
Yeah.
So it was almost like he knew that.
Mhm.
And again, my mom had said this. It was really strange,
Right.
really strange. And that's why I said to Doug, we can try somehow to see if it is Rick trying to communicate in the house.
And and that's something I've always said. Of course, I mean it would be, but like I wonder that. Obviously, not so soon because it is a press sensitive subject. But like, if
Right.
trying to reach out to him, later on or whatever, like it's almost like is he waiting for that? Is he like, come on, you guys, like y'all do
Exactly.
this. So try it with me. Like you don't know. Is that something that
Right.
he's trying? Because I'll tell you another theory Rick always had. And I think I talked to you about this, Mario, too. He always said that he always wanted to, obviously you never could because who would be up for it, but to,
Right.
measure the atmosphere, investigation style, when someone is on the verge of passing away. He always thought about that
Right.
and saying, would it show up on, the different equipment and everything like that?
Wow.
And
Right.
how it would react. And then, of course, I had thought, well, something that he's always in a sense wanted to try, and then of course here we go, he passes away. You know, it's tricky. So like down the road, it's almost like, is he sitting there waiting like, all right, y'all, you got the capability, you got the
y'all know
ability
what
to
I'm
do
doing
it.
here and what
So
you're
let's
doing.
go. So,
yeah. Right.
but you know, it's definitely an interesting thing. So yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mario. Well, look, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you calling, and
Absolutely,
we're
guys.
definitely looking forward to you, coming in and joining us.
Can't wait.
So.
I cannot wait.
Awesome. All right.
All
Well,
right.
thanks again, Mario.
All right,
We'll
guys.
be talking
Thanks,
to you.
Mario.
Absolutely,
See ya.
guys.
Talk to you later.
All right, guys.
Bye-bye.
All right, brother.
See ya.
See ya.
All right, bye-bye. Later, man. Later.
But yeah, that's awesome because again, like you said, I mean, again, it's much like I was with jumps. Rick, when I first met him, would always, if you like to go on things. So again, with Mario, everything with his movies.
And
you
I
know,
just
it's
got a
great.
message from Kelly. Something else she wanted to mention was that Rick always supported her book, and he did.
Yeah. Well, and Paranormal Corner, I think he would actually read that.
yes,
away, you know.
yeah, the book
Yeah.
and her writing for the paper, like
Right.
well, the internet. It turned into anyway.
Well,
But yeah, like he was a very big supporter of that. She just wanted me to mention.
No,
'cause that's something
definitely.
she meant to mention and didn't get a chance.
Well, I do actually want to open it now to Mike because Mike, I know that you had.
Michael.
I mean, if you want, of course, but
Michael's like,
you
thanks,
know, I
Doug.
know Rick was always obviously a huge supporter of Toxic, and I know he contributed a lot with
Wait,
it. But
let's do this.
Rick is the reason why Toxic's still here.
Stop it.
And-
Elaborate.
He is.
Well,
Why is that?
right.
Yeah, let's go. Let's.
I
hear
mean,
it.
you got
And we have
Wildfire-
somebody
yeah,
shake-
like-
Rick
he's
is the
shaking his
reason
head.
why Wildfire's still here. Jesus.
Wow.
Rick is
Dun,
yeah.
dun,
Just bring the
dun.
whiskey back in here. Rick is the reason why Toxic's still here is because Rick was a part of Toxic. Obviously, the longest running show part of Toxic. I mean, he was a part of Toxic before I even started really thinking about producing and helping out others. You know, he hit me up out of nowhere to be like, "Hey, you want to just do mine?"
I'm tired of sitting alone in my bedroom. You know.
I want to come to your bedroom now.
Him and Dave Nelson hit
Yes,
me up.
and I was going to bring him up. Yeah, too. Yeah.
They both hit me up out of nowhere. But, and obviously, best thing that could have happened to me because of it led into this. But no, so there was a time. Jesus Christ, I can't think of dates and years, but years and years ago.
I think it was like 2011, 12 or so.
No. Because what?
Oh, this was a while ago.
I didn't start my own podcast till 2012.
Oh.
I thought I was bad.
All right, 13.
I think it
I
was
don't know.
2016.
All right, go ahead.
I think it was 2016 when the weight of Toxic just fell on my shoulders and I couldn't do it anymore. It was so much work, so much pressure, so much financial burden. I couldn't do it, and I closed the doors to Toxic. And I told all the shows, you guys got to find somewhere else to go to do your shows. And Rick went and found Wildfire.
Mm-hmm.
And went and started doing the show there, but he kept in touch with me, and he kept telling me, these guys got something really cool going on here. You should talk to them. I said, nah, man, I can't do it. I just can't do it. I said, it was too much. I got too much going on in my life. I can't do it. He said, well, do you mind if I talk to them? And I said, yeah, dude, go ahead. It's not going to hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So he talked to them, and it took a month because Wildfire takes a while sometimes to get back to you.
Yeah.
Sounds
like people trying to get a hold of me. But,
Shade,
But,
but no shade.
But about a month later, one of the members of Wildfire hit me up, and they said, Rick from Paradelphia talks so highly of you, and we've seen what you're doing. We've been watching you, and we'd like you to come in. We want to help you resurrect Toxic. And I was like, why would you want to do that? And I was like, why would a company that's trying to do the same thing want to do that?
Mm-hmm.
And they went on again, everything that Rick had said, but also watching what I had, and they said, because we don't want to see what you had die.
Right.
And next thing you know, I went to go talk to them, and Wildfire is true to their word.
Mm-hmm.
Stand-up guys, their word is their bond. And next thing you know, and you guys all know, you guys were sitting in the studio when I would just walk in
Right.
to go for meetings to discuss this. And next thing you know, I'm hitting up everybody and saying, I think we're going to come back. These guys are going to help me out, and they don't want anything in return.
Mm-hmm.
And literally that wouldn't have happened if Rick hadn't spoken so highly of Toxic,
Right.
and where he'd come from, and kept that link going back and forth. So
Wow.
It's
yeah, I mean,
Again.
literally, I was done.
And then
if anybody's ever been done with something, when you're absolutely done.
I'll never
And-
forget the day you told Rick and I that I mean, it was, and I know you had gotten emotional, about
And
that.
to think that was
because,
somebody's dream.
Right. I mean,
That was
because
a dream, Mike. Like,
right. And it was
There it is.
definitely a shock. But one thing we always said is, we knew that here you are doing our show at that time, 8 to 10, and then you had to be up like, I think, 3 o'clock in the morning. But you were, so again, it's only obvious that it would be a toll on somebody. But again, just in Rick's,
Wow.
But the whole,
passion
the whole idea of one person just,
doing it.
saying some good. No. One person saying kind words about another,
Right.
to another business could snowball into that.
and now look.
Yeah,
And-
now look at you.
And now I want to tell some fun stories.
Oh yeah.
So
Okay, yeah.
that was
right.
a fun story. But
that was a fun story.
Right.
But I really do look at that connection as to this still being here. So
Absolutely.
let me stop doing this.
okay.
Somebody bring me
Yep,
whiskey.
next.
So
where would you?
anyway, Jesus, see, you did
It's
this.
okay.
This is your fault, Doug.
Do you?
It's okay.
he don't even know. He walked away to get a shot.
He brought the
Your
whole
fault,
bottle.
Doug.
Did he really bring the whole bottle?
Chug.
How sweet is that fireball?
Because I didn't get you a second one because the first one, you like acted like I was force feeding you.
Yeah. He didn't have any after that. It's all for you two.
But so I was
Sweet.
being on air with Rick so many times. It was always I always had a blast. One thing that's been sticking out in my mind as we're going down memory lane is the one time that me and Rick are on air and doing the show, and we're going through the motions and having a blast, and me and Rick always laughed.
Yeah.
And it was always fun when Rick would tell his stories of paranormal. And especially in the podcast days when we didn't have video, I'd always be giving him these looks. And like, really?
Days.
Really?
Yeah.
Periscope. Yeah,
And
that's right.
so he knew to wait in to ask me what my rebuttal was with whatever we were saying, because I was
Stump
always like,
Skeptic Mike. That's
really,
why
dude,
you had
this is
that.
what
Oh, I
you're gonna.
forgot about that.
Yep.
I always loved Stump Skeptic Mike, because I always said it was a vision.
From the dank
Ah!
crypts far below Toxic
yes!
Network Studio.
Now you take the shot.
Stump Skeptic.
Look, and I'm finally taking my second.
Thumbs up.
I always liked it because I always said, because Rick always had to do 2 that were fake
was great.
and 1 that
Yeah.
was real, and I always said it was a look inside of Rick's demented mind.
Yeah, because
he'd have
he
to come
made
up. He'd have to
right.
come up with the messed up things. It was more interesting to me to see where his mind went to come up with these
Yes.
messed up stories.
Yes.
But the one that I loved most that happened while Rick was in my bedroom.
We had, we all
I had
had
many lonely nights with me and Rick in my bedroom.
good memories.
Then
Taryn,
again,
don't
there
be
was no
jealous.
nights with Doug in my bedroom. Anyway,
Hey,
so 2-2. Actually, because you just Taryn also fits in here with Rick during our 24-hour broadcast. But I'm gonna get into that in a second.
Good
But
times.
But the
remember
one time when
Penis
me
is
and
there,
Rick are there and we're doing the show, and all of a sudden our phones start going off, rapid, nasty sirens on our phone. And this was around the time when they first started doing the tornado warnings on your phone, and we didn't know what was going on.
oh yeah.
And Rick
I
looks down,
wasn't
he
there.
goes, and it's in the middle of the show, and we're broadcasting live. He goes, we're getting a tornado warning. I'm like, yeah, dude. And Rick all of a sudden just gets on here. He's like, all right, so we're gonna take a little break, and
And run like
we're
hell.
gonna figure this out.
Because didn't
So-
y'all go in your closet? Or
So we get
Sorry,
we get off, and
That's
we
so
look at
great.
each other because we're trying to figure out what to do. Now, what freaked us out was the second one that said, "Find shelter now."
shit.
and I know that Rick was on the phone with Taryn.
Oh no.
Going back and forth because we're in my tiny apartment.
Wow.
And as Rick's talking with Taryn and looking out the window the whole time, which he shouldn't have been doing.
Oh,
It's
interesting, though.
I'm putting alcohol bottles and food in my closet.
Save the liquor and food, right?
So the downstairs had this very large closet that was room enough to lay down. And I'm looking at Rick going, if this goes down, we might have to lay down together.
At least you had your alcohol and food. You prepared.
Whatever happens after that, hey, it was a
Stays in the
tornado.
closet, baby.
What happens after the tornado strikes?
There was a lot of
Never
wind,
mind.
a
It's
lot
staying
of
in the
craziness. But at the end of it, we were safe, and we went back on air to let everybody know that everything was good. And Rick did proceed to let everybody know that I was stockpiling alcohol and food in the closet.
Trying to spoon
I mean,
him.
hey, you didn't have, woman, kids, all that at that time. So, hey, save that at the time, right?
The other one, the 24-hour broadcast.
Oh, yeah.
This was one of my things that I tried to do before folding Toxic that time that we talked about. Was it like an Indiegogo or something?
Yeah.
And to try and raise money to try and keep everything going. And we did a 24-hour broadcast. And Rick, obviously, Doug, were you there?
I was.
You were? Okay.
I was there, yeah.
I was there too.
You were
'cause
there?
We kept singing Indiegogo.
Yes,
Do, do,
yes.
do, do, do.
Well, so I'm sorry that you all are overshadowed
Yeah.
by Taryn's sex talk
I was about to say
that went on
That's why
That-
that's why we
during that
came.
24-hour
It
broadcast.
was worth it because I've never seen Rick so red.
Oh,
So
really?
It
I
was
missed
all,
it.
wasn't only supposed to be like a half hour, and ended up going on for like 3 hours.
It went on for a while.
Of Rick's sex
Everybody
life.
in the room, because it was middle of the night.
And
it was like
she has
midnight.
no
It was
shame.
like midnight
She's like,
to
"That's
3,
right,
4
bitch,
o'clock
I
in the
did."
morning.
We had been going on for a while.
Right.
And Taryn came in and woke everybody up. Woke
We
everybody up.
learned a lot that night.
And Taryn was just looking at everybody going, like, everybody else had the like, what?
I know.
You know you do it.
I mean,
yeah.
she's just not fake. She's like, come
She's
on,
not.
Rick, come
Because
with
He's not-
that was before, because that wasn't long after I joined the show, or a little bit. Like, that was before you guys.
No, I know.
No, I was
Were
there.
you? Oh, that's right, you
Yeah,
were. I'm
Jen was
sorry. I'm
there.
sorry.
I-
Yeah.
I
Kelly
remember-
was there.
That's right. Okay, I got my times all mixed up.
And
Never
I
mind. It was
remember-
2002.
I remember Rick would always go, like, after something shocking, you go, and there you go.
Yes.
He always had a phrase. Like, he always had his catchphrases. Because I know with me, like,
yes.
I would always feel bad, like if I couldn't make a show or something. Number one, he always used to say, "Dude, you got more trouble with vehicles than I've ever seen." Because before I got the brand new car, like, a car would break down, I couldn't make it, and I would always feel horrible. Like, I don't know why, but I'd be like, "Yo, man, I'm so sorry I can't make the show tonight." And he's like, "Shit happens. It's okay. Shit happens." You know what I mean? Like, of course, why? Like he always says, he's like, "Dude," he's like, "you don't get paid for it. You can't make it. You don't get." But I don't know. I just always felt like I was letting him down, even though he never gave me a
that
reason.
was
But the
Rick.
best,
Wasn't
the
about
best,
that.
the best time I seen you guys as a team, one thing that sticks out in my mind of you guys as a team, was when I brought all of Toxic Radio to the
Hey.
Comic-Con.
Oh.
And you guys showed up with selfies,
Yes.
pictures, so that you could sign them for everyone.
No.
And they
We
did
hold
that.
on.
You did.
We didn't bring it to sign. That have people sign it. It was kind of like it was more of like a promotional handout.
Right. No, but I still loved it.
People started wanting us to
Yes.
sign it. That's where this picture is.
And that's when
The
Doug
one
got his
Jenna
shot
had
in
made
there.
Right.
up.
Yeah.
That's the one, because we were just like, oh, here it is. And it
Because
was
you're
like
at a Comic-Con, if you have pictures of
Right.
yourself, people want to know who you are.
Well, then people started wanting us to sign it.
Because you
And
guys
we
showed
were
up.
signing
'Cause I remember
autographs.
I was there. Rich Olson, everybody.
everybody, yeah.
DJ was there. We were all there, and everybody was like, Rick and Doug brought pictures, and at first we're like, "What the f are they doing?
People were
Who
there was
are
a
they? They're not Kel Mitchell. What are they doing?"
no, there was a
and
woman.
next thing you know, we turn around. And they're there with handing up sign in and pictures with everyone.
There you go.
And
That's
that's
why-
what I was like. The teamwork.
It's funny because I tell my kids all the time, your daddy has signed autographs. Yeah, in fact, Mellie's dad, when he was, he was like, because her dad was a huge supporter,
Yes,
before he passed
asked
away.
Doug to sign an autograph.
That was
for him,
actually the
for
first
God's
autograph I ever
sakes.
signed, but yeah.
Ever Google me?
But yeah, no, I mean it's
I remember that.
again. It was Google me. I haven't said that in such a
Oh
long
my
time.
gosh.
But yeah,
Jesus, now
Now
I
it's
remember
gotten
it.
bigger. honey.
Google me.
It's
Now I
bigger
remember.
now.
He used
Google
to
Doc-
say that. I used to
Okay,
sit behind the
Junior
board
now.
and cringe. I'm like, ugh.
but you've at least once tried Googling me.
I've tried, but not on the
Never.
internet.
It's all oh well, yeah.
Oh, whoa now. Whoa now.
Ooh, God, I feel that liquor coming on now. Anyway, but
Yikes. Wait.
that's-
You know,
yeah. Go ahead, Gene. So.
I just said before, and really quickly, and then I'll shut up for the rest of the night. But
Why? That's what we're here
Well,
for.
it is 9.
I know we are. Yeah, we're go ahead.
you know, Rick cared about everybody, and you met him for a minute, and he was your friend, but he never stopped. Like he took it to the next generation, and he was always there for your kids as well.
Oh,
You know,
absolutely.
you got
Yeah.
the text message, you got the phone call. Hey, how is so and so? How can I help? I mean, it wasn't just the person he met. It was then their family.
Yep.
And they were incorporated as well.
Right.
My son is a great example. Gavin.
Exactly. He had him
Perfect
join the
example.
show because in fact, that's what we'll do. You know, if you want, we'll go around because we are unfortunately run out of time. It went by so quick. But if we all kind of want to, you know, kind of give one last thing before we, you know, have to go. But Gene, if there's, go ahead. Go ahead.
I described Rick to a girl that I worked with as the guy that made you believe that there were really good men.
Mm-hmm. Amen to that.
And I don't have any more anecdotes or ways to explain how he must have been an old soul, because
Agreed.
the lives he touched were immeasurable. Sorry.
No, it's you give
Absolutely.
me it's
I'm
understandable.
sure Taryn agrees more than anything.
And you're absolutely right. It's like you said right before that. It wasn't just you. It was everyone in your circle.
Yep.
I just get stuck on the fact that I'm never going to hear that big booming voice again.
But you will. Because remember, if you're the one that I always say it taught us all. Like you had said, we all plan this out before we come down here.
Yeah.
And I always picture all of us sitting at a table before we're born saying, all right, so this is what we're going to do. Rick's like, I'm going to make y'all upset for me this time. You know,
Yeah,
so
it's
there's
your
gonna-
turn to pay,
There's
bitch.
going to be a time where we're going to see him and be like, you son of a bitch, you know. But it's obviously, it is. I you know, it's,
I
understand.
Gene, on that, I could
Go
not
ahead, if
agree
you-
with you more,
if you want to go, Melanie.
because that is one of my biggest issues. I can watch Rick all day on a video, but the second I hear him speak, I make Doug shut it down.
Yeah, we tried listening to the last show.
I
yeah.
cannot. But this was something I wanted to mention at the very beginning of the show. I actually have the privilege in one of the videos that was taken of Rick in the backseat on the way to Gettysburg. And it is actually Rick saying, "Hey, Mel."
Oh.
And I have that. And I feel privileged.
Right.
And it means so much to me. And Doug actually sent me the whole clip of this. It was a Facebook Live is what it was.
Right, we were on our way.
And Doug didn't even realize the very beginning. I'm sorry, the very end of it. It says, "Hey Mel, I literally lost my shit," and said, "Do you realize that you just sent me a clip of Rick saying, 'Hey Mel'?" And it was amazing to me, and I felt so like privileged and like, you know.
Again, you didn't realize it was out there.
I
and
didn't
then,
even realize it was out there, and for him to actually, his voice saying my name you know, because Rick and I didn't get to be with him as much as Doug did, as much as even Jenna and Jean. I was always at work. And that was one of my regrets with Rick, is that I never got to be here as much as I wanted to be. You know what I mean?
But he always had an open door.
And
for you.
always had an open hand, an open heart for me. And just for him to, I have a video of him saying, "Hey Mel," like it just meant everything to me.
Right.
But yeah, that's all basically I wanted to say. I just start to shake whenever I start to talk about it. But yes, that.
Go ahead, Jen.
I like to think that I kept Rick young.
No doubt about it.
I feel that.
There was
I don't know if you succeeded.
I called him Grandpa numerous times. He was a grandpa.
And
But
Richard, you called him Richard or Rickard. You call him Rickard or Richard or something.
I don't even remember.
Yeah.
But I think, I mean, like I said earlier, I just, when I look at my Snapchat, there will be random videos that like you can like look back from this day 4 years ago, and then there'll be like an alien twerking on Rick, and he's oblivious, and he's just like talking to somebody on the show, and there's like an alien
Because it's a filter.
and then
Okay.
I'd be over there, and you could clearly see him like, would you stop? Like, what are you recording
Why are
me
you
for?
doing
And I'd
this?
show him, and he'd just be like,
Oh
he'd
God.
shake his
Yeah,
head. But
I see that.
I think that, like I said, I mean, I just keep thinking that, you know, we're going to come back to the show one day and he'll be here. And I mean, once we're all gone, and this is just my belief. I mean, we know Michael knows this. I think that we all will meet again. And I remember but I remember numerous times when it was just me, Rick, and Mike at his old house. I'd sit
the bedroom.
I'd be like, I am in a bedroom in Westville with 2 men. And 2 men I only met like 4 years ago, which I wasn't. But I was just like, the path in life is. We'll just spit 100%. I think predetermined.
By the way, that's how I would put it in my diary.
That's what I'm saying.
It's so predetermined because.
Oh, absolutely. Divine intervention's everything.
So it's just kind of like I would have never crossed paths. I would have probably never known Gene. I would have never known Taryn.
I mean, I always
had this opportunity been presented to Doug, and then it reflected on me. So not only am I always thankful to Doug for that, but I am like I said, he will always 100% be my what's not an idol? What's the word? Like my inspiration.
Yeah, I admire
for my
Admiral,
podcast.
Inspiration,
Right.
yes.
Because he just had such a light, and so you know, he always called Noah. I don't even think Noah was his name. He'd always say, "How's Bambino? How's Bambino?" He'd always say that. I don't think he knew it was Noah's name, but anyway.
Wow. Real quick, Mike, before we get to Taryn, is there anything last you want to say or anything?
No.
Okay, that's fine.
Short and sweet.
I know you just shared a bunch.
I know. I try to keep my
Feelings to
composure.
yourself.
It's understandable.
So I think
Absolutely.
You did good, Mike. You did
Yeah, you
good.
did.
You're real. I'm proud of you.
really
You
did.
did good. He was like a brother to you.
Obviously,
As is
Or
Taryn.
father.
obviously means a lot.
Yeah. Now, Taryn, obviously, I know we could probably do 5 years worth of shows for you to talk about this, but the mic is yours here. I mean, for what you can.
He is my best friend, the love of my life, my soulmate, my person. And my life is so much emptier without him, and I miss him. I miss him so much.
Well, of course, I know I speak for everybody when I say that obviously Rick might not physically, because I always say that, he might not be physically here, but he's here. And you obviously know you always have all of us. And even though, in a sense, this being Rick's show, it's your show.
Yeah,
You
now
know?
it's yours.
I mean,
It's your baby
It's whenever
now.
you come in, you
Adopted.
know, it's like that. So, but yeah, you definitely always have us all. So,
Absolutely.
Thank you.
but anyway, so yeah, so
We're going to take you down that long road that Rick went down.
yeah.
So that
Well, I've been sitting here thinking that I think that Rick would really like it
Absolutely.
if I started participating in this.
Now I will ask you this.
So
too.
I think I want to do that. And
Yes.
That's awesome. And because I
I'd like to
remember
do that.
one thing that Rick always would say, and he always would
That I
joke,
never watched
it's like,
the show.
it's like, because I would say to him, like, if he would make a comment or something, like, I'd be like, oh, Taryn's going to kill you. He's like, she doesn't listen anyway.
It's okay.
Yeah. But I remember you actually had said that you actually like, you know, I mean, that's one good thing we have is we have these memories of it.
Taryn,
But
can
yeah,
I be honest
so
with you, honey?
He
When
would
I
say
wasn't
that.
here,
Oh,
I didn't listen either.
he would say if Taryn was here every single time, she should do shots with you.
Ah,
Just so we know for the
perfect.
future.
okay.
yeah.
Because we might be closing one door, but Michael's door is about to open.
Oh yeah.
Who? What?
I don't know.
Door's about to
What?
open.
What are you talking
In
about?
another
Who's
word,
opening my
child.
door?
Thinking reincarnation, Rick's coming
not
back as your
reincarnation,
baby.
saying there's going to be a toxic child.
Yeah.
Oh,
See?
wait,
Anyway.
I'm having a baby?
No. Anyway.
No, anyway.
Anyhow.
I gotta love Doug. No, anyway.
I'm trying to do what Rick would do. Oh God. Moving on. No. Moving on.
There
No.
you go.
But anyway,
So what
no.
was your
So
closing thoughts, Doug?
well, that's what I So obviously, again, as I mentioned, I am the talker of it all. But I started a ghost hunting team. Never in a million years did I ever think I'd be part of it. I actually started college for going on the radio and never thought that I would have that dream come true. And, had somebody, Rick, didn't know him from Adam, getting a hold of me just like any other interview. Oh, tell us what you do. And I talked his ear off, and he one day decided, I'll let me, you want to be my co-host. And it's one thing that I will always be grateful for. Not just that, but when you get older, people in your life, your friends, you don't have like high school. You're limited. Rick, I've got to say, was my best friend. I again, as I said in the beginning of this, him and I, when you sit back and think about it, like there were so many things that we did. Anytime I had something exciting happen, first thing I thought is I got to include Rick somehow.
Yep.
And again, as I mentioned too, back when I was hitting a dark time in my life, he was there. Never made a judgment, never made anything. I mean, he saw me through freaking, we'll just say, the dark one and all that thing, and seen me through, he's seen me through some weird times in my life, let's just say. But he was always there, never had judgment, and I will forever, ever be grateful, which, again, is why this show, Paradelphia, will live on for as long as I possibly can. I mean, I know that I'll never be able to live up to Rick Prewitt, but I'll do my damnedest. And I know, obviously, everybody here, and I know everybody listening, whether you're a regular listener, or maybe you're just tuning in, definitely go back and just listen again. This is episode 310.
Got a lot.
I remember when we celebrated
100.
I do too. That's
and
such a great
we
part.
have a banner, actually, that Rick gave your dad.
Yes, he did.
We actually have, because your dad passed away.
I wanted to come back to studio.
And but there's just so many milestones. And again, it was definitely, I've been upset. I've lost people in my life. And Rick has definitely been one of the ones that has hit me the hardest.
Yes,
but
it has. As a witness.
I always say that we become selfish, I feel. Not a bad selfish, but a good selfish when someone passes away. Because we get upset, we want them here. We don't want them to go. But they are still here, obviously. They're just not going through that suffering. And there you go. Mike posted that 100th episode right there. March 15th, 2016. So, and again, we're at 310.
Yep.
And I hope to keep going, and we'll push it to 500 and
with now
keep going
Mrs.
with it.
Prewitt.
Yep.
Absolutely. So,
Thumbs up.
with that being said, everybody that has tuned in, all of you guys, everybody that Rick has impacted in their life, which I know the list could just go on and on and on. Rick is here with us. He'll always be our host. And
The
there's
man,
nothing more I can
the
say.
myth, the legend.
There you go.
Rick Prewitt. I almost cussed in that because I got excited. But that I said
Yes.
that to Rick all the time. Anyway.
And everybody, please, tomorrow,
Yes,
wherever
his
you
birthday.
are,
Yeah.
Yes.
have a piece of cake for him, have a drink, a
A
beer,
shot.
a shot, whatever,
I'll do the
whatever it
shot.
is. Yeah, whatever it is that you enjoy, just have it in his honor.
Yep.
I'll be doing
Because
that.
wait, he'll be,
He
oh
would've
my God, I can't
51. He would've been
51. That's what I
51.
said. He did hit 50 because I remember last year when
last
when
year.
he hit it, I was like, man, you're 50? Like, man.
Yeah.
Because I would
Same
always
thing,
say,
old ass.
I would always say, because when I would
said
mention
that
that
too,
I
Mike.
was like 30, when I mentioned like, man, I'm getting ready to be 36, he'd be like, eh. You know? But
Young
yeah.
ass.
That is
So-
such a great picture. I can't.
Anyway.
oh my God.
So again, everybody, I want to thank everyone for tuning in for this special. Mike, I want to thank Mike Toxic Radio for letting us have this 2-hour episode, for letting us, have this tribute to Rick.
Spill over.
And again, we will be back again with new episodes. Again, I've been doing some prep work, so just keep an eye on us on Facebook.
Yep.
And we'll be seeing you guys. So again, on behalf of myself, Melly, Taryn, Jenna, Jean, and
Zoom it
Our
in, zoom
one
it
and
in,
only
Mike. Zoom
Rick
it in
Prewitt.
and end it
Our
on the
Rick
pic.
I don't think he can zoom it in.
Oh, okay. He says hold on.
Oh, okay. He's gonna zoom it in,
That's how you gotta end it.
as he says.
And run it.
As he says, for everybody here at Toxic Radio, that's Rick Prewitt, and we are out of here.